Oh yeah, what a night.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CreepyPastaDish podcast live stream. I changed the live stream, episode 2, and tonight we're having a ladies' night, as you can tell by the background music there, and we got 7 narrators, guest narrators, all females, yes, including EdenReads, Blackeyed Blonde, Creep Street, Gothic Librarian, Sooth Siren, Lady White Rabbit, and Margbot. Not Margbot. So, if you guys want to say hello, welcome,
Hi everyone.
everyone.
Welcome.
There's a wonderful choir.
Greetings.
Greetings. And I do have Ladies Night playing right now. I'm sure that was I gotta bring up the chat so I can see everything because I don't even know how they responded to that one. Nice funky music. Alright. So the topic of this stream is female narrators and their experience in the CreepyPasta community, and let them get a voice out and just to get seen and tell some short stories that if they choose to. So I hope you guys are ready to get comfortable and enjoy this little radio talk show live stream. Let me cut this ladies' night out here. Get some more good talking music in there.
I
Okay.
like these chairs you put us in.
You like them?
It was very comfortable.
Yeah, they're, you know, it's an office. Unfortunately, everyone, DuchessDark was having her technical difficulties never really got sorted out, but and so she can't be here unless she can figure it out. If she can figure it out, you are more than welcome to get your butt back in here and be a part of the chat, the party here. So until then, though, if we want to get started, if everyone wants to
Hey, Candy. Hey, everybody in the chat. What's
Yep.
going down?
introduce themselves,
Hi chat people.
ladies.
Okay. I am Eden, also known as Studio Eden, also known as EdenReads. I go by so many aliases. But yes, you guys probably know me from a variety of things. Either you found me on your own or you found me on Corpse Husband's channel, B-Busters, Lazy Masquerade, Your Makers, Unit 522s, or recently, if you listen to the No Sleep podcast, I have been on there quite frequently.
What an amazing job, I might add.
Thank you! I appreciate that.
Impressive resume.
Yeah.
I know, right? I'm trying my best. Hopefully I'll be able to do some official voice work at some point.
Right. So when did you get started? I guess that'll be the first question for everyone. As we go around and introduce ourselves, let us everyone know when you actually got started with the actual voice narrations.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, I started back in 2000, I want to say 14 originally, and I wasn't even doing it on my own channel. It was this CreepyPasta No Sleep reading group I was a part of called Whispers into Nothingness, and every week one of the readers would get on and like upload a video or a story that we did, and for a while I was doing that, and I did this one story called The Black Dog, and that is how Corpse Husband found me. And Corpse Husband found me about 6 months later, and he found that video, commented on the quality, and on my own personal channel, I was like not even 50 subs, and he had like 2,000, almost 3,000 subs. And he's like, hey, I think the story is really cool. Your mic quality is good, and I think you tell stories really well. If you'd like, check out my channel and hit me up sometime and like talk to me on Skype. And so from then on, that is what started everything. And I did that. I listened to his video, told him he did really well, and then he messaged me a few weeks later and was like, hey, I'm about to do this story called My Job at the Psych Ward. Could you play this character named Tammy? She's a nurse. And I was like, okay, well, what kind of character is she? He's like, well, she's kind of fucking crazy. And I'm like, okay, well, do you want me to play like a crazy weird person? He's like, no, I want you to play like a bubbly person, kind of Harley Quinn style nurse. Like, think of Harley Quinn style, but nursey, crazy. Eventually she spirals into insanity. I'm like, okay. And so I did it. And from then on, my channel just kind of exploded. And he encouraged me to actually start doing more and more narrations on my channel. And then the rest is history.
And now you're at 24,000 subs, right?
I know. I still haven't even come up with a new visual novel that I'm going to read on my channel yet. Like, I finished Phenomeno, and I always told my subs every time I hit 1,000 that I would upload a new chapter to a visual novel. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but I don't know what visual novel I'm going to read. Although I did find one that I think is going to be really cool. That I think everyone's going to like. So I'll probably get ready to start recording that in the next few days.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Looking forward to it, though. For sure.
Yay!
Yeah. All right, next is Blackeyed Blonde, if you're ready.
Hello, I am ready. Ready as I'll ever be.
Feel free to give yourself an intro. Tell us how you got started in creepypasta narrations and anything else you'd like to share for now.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Black-Eyed Blonde. I got started doing this actually just because I liked reading these stories like with one of my best friends. We used to just read like not the typical creepypastas, not like, you know, Jack the Killer or whatever, not that kind of stuff, but the more like horror-based ones. We used to just read them to each other. And she was like, wow, when you read this, like I felt like I was there. And I was like, huh, that's cool. But I never knew that there was an online community for this. I never knew there was anybody doing this, like, you know, for a living or for a serious hobby. And I actually found this community through Graveyard Girl when she shouted out Corpse Husband and Southern Cannibal. And I was like, well, let me check it out. And then I have a main channel. If you go on my channel, it's linked in the description. And I decided to do some narrations on there just for fun. It was like a Halloween special. And I found that they didn't really fit there. It just was completely different from what I was doing over there. So it was kind of weird. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of start up a second channel, throw all the narrations I've already done on there and see what happens. And now, 4 months later, I think it's 4 months or 5 months. I'm not sure.
You started about 5 months ago?
So what? About 4 or 5 in November. I can't count. November,
okay,
December,
yeah.
January, February. Yeah, about 4 months. I'm here, and my channel here has actually surpassed my original channel with flying colors. So it's really amazing. I'm very grateful and very happy I found this community.
Awesome. Some great explanation. No, I mean for now. So how many subs are you at now? Then you said.
I think I'm almost at 1,300.
Nice. That's great for starting in November to get to that level that quickly. So, and you said you got a great voice and a great mic for it. So welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Next is Creep Street, also known
as Danny.
Danny. Okay, I wanted to make sure before I said it.
Oh, you're fine.
Before. Okay, so welcome. Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure. It's a pleasure having you. And again, tell us when did you get started and your experience. Well, your initial experience, or why this is what you enjoy, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I started YouTube about like 2.5 years ago. I didn't really do any narrations. I actually do like a lot of film and music stuff. But it's always been like horror themed, and I always loved creepypastas. So I like to do a lot of different things, and I was like, hey, I like these creepy stories, and I see a lot of these narrators doing them. I really liked King Spook is the first person that got me into the whole narration thing, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a try, just see what happens. And I started doing that, and I started doing videos with them a little bit, and I really like it. And everyone's been really nice to me so far. So yeah, now I'm here.
I've seen a few of your videos, and they're a lot of it's a visual artwork, I would call it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
They're really
I like to
fun.
be
I really like
creative.
them.
yeah,
Oh, thank you. I like to kind of bring my own style into things and like spice it up a little bit, I guess.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. That's I can't go wrong with that. That's really cool though. And then you were at about, you said you're about
I'm at like
1,500 or something like that.
I actually have like 2,200 something around there.
And when did you exactly start?
Probably about 2.5 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I really only got into narrating probably like maybe a couple months ago, honestly. I just decided to try it out and I really liked it.
Yeah, it's a really fun niche, and like it's been really cool. Like I said, creating the Discord community and everything, bringing people in like Pit Clover and stuff, and getting them started, and then hearing them say, you know, why didn't I start this sooner? This is awesome. This is really fun. And so, and there's a really it's modern day creepypastas are modern day campfire ghost stories, and so it's you know, back before the internet days, this is what you do around a campfire with groups of people. People love it. And except for like my parents. They just like, they don't see the enjoyment in it. They like, I get tired listening to you. I'm like, it's because you're old.
Oh, yeah, my parents are like that.
Yeah, my mom's like, "What are you doing, you weirdo?"
Yeah.
Yeah, basically my parents in a nutshell right there.
All right.
Well, my parents were a little weird about it at the beginning, but then when they realized that like I was getting more and more recognition and stuff, now I just get to the point where, because I still live at home right now, I'm trying to save up to move out, so it gets to the point where I put a sign on my door. Yeah, I put a sign on my door, and I go in the living room. I'm like, hey, so if you hear me making some weird sounds, or you hear me screaming expletives, or you sound like a demon's crawling out of the walls, it's just me recording. Okay, bye. And they're like, okay.
Yeah. All right, so the next we got is Gothic Librarian. I'm gonna just working my way down and kind of put her over DuchessDark until she can get in. But the so Gothic is from Switzerland.
Yes, exactly.
So she's up in the mountains, and she's got that nice, lots of blood cells in her blood because of all the high altitude. So she gets a good clear voice because that makes sense. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just rambling. But what? Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway, welcome. Thanks for coming. I'm glad you were able to stay up. It's like 3 a.m. where you're at, so I'm happy you could join us, and I'm happy you're all excited and awake. And if you want to introduce yourself and tell us how you got started and where you're at now.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's actually only, quote-unquote, 2:30 a.m. because you in the US changed to summer daytime.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and we're gonna change in 2 weeks, so that actually works pretty good for me. But yeah, anyway, so I ramble a lot, but I'm gonna try to...
It's fine, take your time, no rush.
Stay focused. So, what got me started? Well, at first, I found out about the main channels, so to speak. The first one ever was Mr. Nightmare. I watched all of his videos, loved them, wanted more, so I found out about, I think the next one was either Basta or Lazy Masquerade, one of them, then Corpse Husband, then Your Maker, then Eden, and then I just wanted to do it myself, but I thought English isn't even my first language. I doubt anyone will ever like me because of the way I sound, but still I really wanted to do it, so I said, who cares? I'm just gonna do it for me to enjoy. And at first I wasn't on any social media, so I did videos from September 2015 to like December 2015, and I reached 20 subscribers in that period of time, and I got a bit discouraged, so I dropped it. And then in 2016 I found out about Lady White Rabbit and Belladonna Black's channel, and hearing them, it really inspired me and made me want to go back at it again. So I picked up my channel again in September, and I started doing videos again, trying to improve the audio quality and everything. I started collaborating and getting to know other narrators, etc. And I saw that I was that my channel was growing quite a lot. So that was absolutely the most amazing thing. And then I also got to meet so many cool people, mostly narrators, but also viewers, and it blew me away every time how kind and gentle everyone was. So much support, so much love. So that's really what kept me going on all the time. And now I'm at exactly 331 subs, I think. And what was the other question? Sorry.
No, that pretty much answered everything. It was basically just a general introduction, how you got started in narrating, and where you're at now in regards to your channel. But yeah, it's
okay. So yeah, I've already answered. Yeah.
but yeah, it's so you learn so much when you do YouTube, that in regards to networking, marketing, learning how to respectfully get yourself out there. You know, you don't want to spam. You don't want to spam yourself or anything like that. You just it's a balance. It's a fine balance. And so I was just having this conversation with a real life friend of mine, how it's like they have so many layers that it's not just making, you know, what I consider this a form of art. Storytelling is a form of art, and so it gets your creativity side out, and I consider this my outlet for my creativity side, and I think everyone else is here is for that as well. So
absolutely,
yeah. And but it also teaches you all the editing skills and stuff like that, and then the friends you make along with it, if you consider them friends or if you consider them business partners, whatever you consider them, it helps you in your life skills that are really essential, that they don't really teach you in school, I should say, unless you go to school for that, like go to college for that. But they don't teach you that in like secondary or high school, stuff like that. But okay, yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Gothic Librarian, or GL.
Thank you.
Next, we have Sooth Siren. Thank you for coming.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Thank you for
Sorry.
having me.
Hopefully you didn't fall asleep there. And
No, I didn't fall asleep.
I'm gonna guess Marg is like just on her keyboard, on her head right now, because she's the last in line. But
That's okay.
Sooth, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, everyone is Sooth Siren, and let us know how you got started and where you're at now and why you got started.
Hey everybody, I'm Sooth Siren. I got started, I think, right at the beginning of December or right at the end of November. It was like right when Blackeyed Blonde started. I remember because she was like started like 2 weeks before me or something. But I don't know, like last summer, I was just on YouTube and I heard a Lazy Masquerade video and I was like, this is a thing? And I had no idea, so I just like dove right into it and I started listening to all these people and like I fell in love with Creeperoni and, you know, Eden, sorry. And I was like, oh my God, they're so cool. I didn't know girls could sound this cool. Like I'm an idiot, but I just kind of thought, you know, people like listening to guys' voices more. And then I heard them and I was like, maybe I can do this. So I got my microphone and started, and kind of really it. My fiance writes for me, and I mean, he's getting his master's degree right now in writing, so
that's awesome.
we were like, ooh, this would be fun. Yeah, it's really, really cool. He's working on couple novellas right now, but I was like, this would be fun to do together. And he's like, yeah, because he doesn't really like as much horror stuff as I do. Like I binge watch horror movies all the time, and I play like horror video games and stuff. But yeah, this was really something that him and I could do together that I ended up liking a lot more than I initially really thought I would.
Again, it's one of those things that you don't know you like until you start trying it. Like it sounds like a silly thing if someone tells you and you're not involved with it. You're like, you read stories online? Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I guess.
I'm like,
but it's a dying. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say but it's I don't know. Like the more I just listen to it, the more I just get sucked into it. Like I had it on like all day. I'd do stuff around the house. I'd play games, and I'd go over to my friend's house. I'd be like, you got to listen to all these videos all day long. Like, you're really into this. I'm like, but it's so cool. I don't know. I really used to read the A Light in the Attic. Or not A Light in the Attic. How was the other?
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah, I always confuse those two books. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and my sister and I used to always like freak each other out. And I was like, this is just a really cool idea. So it's just my story isn't as interesting as everybody else's.
It's a cool thing. It's a cool thing to bring stories to life from written words and then give them a life that you interpret. And I did a poll. I did a poll on a Google Plus, one of the CreepyPasta communities there, and asked people, like, what do you like more? Do you like reading creepypastas, or do you like narrators bringing them to life through their idea of what it would sound like? And it was a slight lead in narrators. People liked listening to them more, basically. It wasn't much. There was about 20 people who voted, 30 people who voted. No, wait, I'm sorry. No, it was a lot. It was actually like 75 people who voted. And I think narrators was about 60% people like narrators. So yeah, it was a cool, interesting thing, and so it's people enjoy it, and we enjoy bringing it to life to them.
Yeah, it's definitely, at least to me, more engaging for me to listen to somebody than read. I don't have that much of a personality when it comes to reading. I kind of have a little bit of problems with it.
Well, yeah, reading's not much of a thing with the advent of internet and stuff like that, and TV taken up. And I like the fact that storytelling's a dying art, and how we all keep it alive by. And if you ever see like I highly recommend anyone, if you ever get a chance, go to like a folk festival or anything that has live storytellers, and go check them out and watch how live storytellers deliver stories. It's an amazing thing how they can just pull you in person like that. No background music, no nothing, just them and their enthusiasm in the story. So that's I had a chance to do that a couple times, and it was something that really inspired me. But
you play a really good game of Dungeons and Dragons sometime. It's kind of like listening to narrators, honestly.
Yeah. I know Mr. CreepyPasta does that. He does Dungeons and Dragons, and they'll all narrate and stuff like that.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
He does on Twitch. So where are you at now with your channel?
I actually just hit 200 subscribers, which I didn't expect because my microphone broke about a month ago, and I just kept getting people, and I was like, oh, well, I really hope I get a new one soon, because I don't want to stop doing this. But that's where I'm at right now.
Well, that's the cool thing about having these stories on YouTube, is that unlike, like, I did YouTube gaming, and unlike YouTube gaming is a very consistent thing, like people, but the stories are always there. Like they don't ever get old. So people as people come to your channel or find your channel, they'll listen to your stories more, and they're like, oh, I like that, so they'll subscribe to that. So even if you've been off the grid for a little bit, your stories will kind of sustain your channel still, which is really, really, really nice thing.
Yeah, I really like kind of waiting for some people when they take hiatus, because you're like, when they come back, it's going to be really good.
Well, thank you, Sooth Siren, and welcome to the show, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy your stay. And you're always welcome. Of course. All right, next we got Lady White Rabbit, who's already been mentioned by Gothic Librarian as a fan. So, Lady White Rabbit, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming. I'm glad you can be here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And so again, same question. I'm sure it's just getting repetitive now, but tell us how you got started, when you got started, and where you're at now.
The concept of creepypastas came to me through my roommate mentioning where the Slender Man came from, that it was just a photoshopped picture that turned into this gigantic story, and that fascinated me.
Yeah, back in
So I
2009.
started researching. Yeah. I mean, this was a long time ago. He told me about it. So I started researching that story and found it was called a creepypasta, and that there were thousands and thousands of other stories like it that were written by average everyday people that are just really good at writing. And I thought that was really cool and inspiring, so I started looking up on YouTube when I'm always working a boring office job that allows me to listen to YouTube all day long, so started listening to Mr. Creepypasta mostly all day long.
Yeah, he's a good
and
narrator.
And he knows how to portray us and put you in that story and give you the visuals just through the sound of his voice and things like that. So I was like, well, I can do that. So I started doing it, 3 years ago, I think. And for the longest time, I was just the biggest nobody walking down nobody's street until Lazy Masquerade graciously put my voice on his channel. And then it exploded.
How did
because
that
of
happen?
him. One of his videos that I really loved what he was doing, and if he ever needed a female voice for any of his stories, that I was willing to donate my lame little 50 subscriber channel voice to him, and he was nice enough to let me, and that's pretty much what happened. The next week when he posted that video on his channel, my notifications exploded that I was getting subscriber upon subscriber, and I went from 50 to about 2,000 in like a week.
Wow,
and
that's
that
incredible.
and that was a good 3 years ago. So now I'm almost up to my 10,000 mark, where I'm gonna do a big old thank you video.
Congratulations. So you cut out there a couple times, and it's just the world of Discord. But so you said when you were at 50 subscribers, you left a comment on Lazy Masquerade's channel saying if you ever need a voice that you're here for it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, on one of his videos.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's crazy. That's crazy how you just, but that's a good thing. I got the big channels and stuff. That's why I like it. What I like about this community is that people aren't too egotistical, I guess. They don't, they're not elitist. They don't see themselves as elitist. So they don't, and they're willing to work with small channels. And, if you sound like you have a good quality mic and you have good quality voice, they might contact you, and if you show support for their channel, they'll show support for you, and I found that so cool here. And in the gaming community, it was so two-faced in my opinion, in regards to my experiences with that. We're doing that for a year and a half, and where people would tell you, like, you would never, as in the gaming community, you would never be able to get contact with a 10,000 subscriber channel and work and do a collab with them. It wasn't going to happen. But here in the Creepypasta, it's so cool to have that. And so that's an awesome story to hear from you, White Rabbit.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too, because that's how Lady White Rabbit and I met. She was on a video with Lazy Masquerade that I happened to be on as well, and that's how I contacted her, and I was like, hey, I really think you're awesome. Do you want to do a video with me? And she is actually one of the characters in Jerailmon, which, by the way, people still think it's really fucked up that my character did what my character did to your character in that story. And I was like, I didn't write it. But no, and some people actually email me and message me. They're like, did you guys actually have that conversation on Skype or something? I'm like, no.
Bitch.
I was like, no.
She's gone now.
Yeah, she's dead. No, but I think it's crazy too. Like, that's just a testament to how talented she is and how talented a lot of you guys are, is that we weren't in a live call when we did that. Like, I just told her to read it, and then she sent it to me, and then I reacted, and it just seemed really natural. And I always get that, is that people comment and they say how natural the conversation was. It didn't seem like we were just reading out some words. It was like we were actually reading it live together at the same time, and that's just a testament to her skill. And she's really, really good. Guys, she's awesome.
Oh, you didn't stop.
guys, you are all awesome. So I'm not gonna put focus on anyone. I'm gonna maintain neutrality. And I said everyone.
I know you guys are all awesome.
Yeah,
believe it
Eden,
or not, I've
such a-
listened to all of you.
Such a
I've
dick.
listened to all of you. No, I'm serious. I've listened to every single one of you guys, and
Yeah.
you guys have got some skill.
I said, I said most everyone that's here was either recommended to me by Eden or Blackeyed Blonde. Honestly, I sent a message to Black Eye, and I was like, hey, you want to be on the stream? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, can I bring other people? I'm like, yeah, bring them on. And all of a sudden, this whole Twitter group blew up, and here you all are. So I'm said it's awesome that you're all here, and I'm honored to meet you all. So thank you for again being here.
You see, you just suggest some, female narrators that make this a thing. Because I think originally it was just going to be me and Eden.
Well, it was no. I wanted more. I didn't know how I was gonna handle so many. Once you brought on so many people, I didn't know how I was gonna handle all of them. I'm like, how am I gonna do this? So, but actually, you guys have been awesome so far, and this is really cool. So, and I like where we're going with it. And but we'll continue on here to last, but certainly not least, would be the wonderful Margbot.
Had to emphasize that G there, huh?
Yeah. She likes to troll the internet with making her name sound like Margbot, and her name is not Margbot, but it sounds a lot like Margbot. So don't call her Margbot. I am such an internet troll.
It happens. Okay. So basically, I got started back last May. I created my channel last March, but I didn't start uploading until last May. And like so many of us here, I started because as a listener of CreepyPasta and Corpse Husband and all, the bigger channels, and I've always been told by friends that I have a pleasant voice. So then I started thinking, what if I did this myself? And then I ran into Eden and Creeperoni, and they actually inspired me to just start my own channel. That's why when I saw that I was invited onto this, I kind of fangirled a little bit because, Eden's here. It's a huge inspiration to me. But yeah, I mean, that's how I got started. And as of right now, I'm at 481 subs. And I can definitely say that this has been an amazing experience for me because, as pointed out before, this community is very welcoming, and even big channels are willing to collaborate with little channels. I just recently, hit up Eden to see if she would collaborate with one of my videos, and she had no problem doing it, even though she's way bigger than I am.
She gets a lot of requests.
It's not about size. Yeah, it's really not about size, in my opinion, honestly. It's about, like I was telling Meatlocker and Gothic Librarian in their stream earlier, my thing is that if you want to ask me to collab, like the best thing for you to do is come to me with an idea. If you come to me and you're like, hey, I want to collab, and then I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, shit, I don't know either. Like, what do you want to do?
I don't know. I think most people just never thought they'd get that far. So they're like, oh, what do I say now?
Yeah, that's actually a very fundamental thing. And you'll see that, like, so being in my profession, that was a big thing, is like you would brief in leaders or bosses and stuff. Like, the one technique is, like, if you're in a conference room or something and you're briefing and you want to get something fixed, you want something done, you got to present what you want, and then you give them three. In that situation, you give them three different avenues of approach to complete it, is what you'd want to do. But you give them options, so you don't just show up and be like, "Hey, I want to collab." I didn't get any farther than that though. Can you feed me something? You're like, no, I'm not gonna feed you something. You want you're asking me. I'm gonna give me something to work with here.
I'm gonna make you work for it, like
exactly,
that's my thing, is that and it's not about like with Margbot, like, believe it or not, she may not know, and I didn't tell her, but when she asked me, she was like, hey, can we like do something together sometime? And it was really cute. It was the Valentine's Day like cheesy one-liner shit thing. And I thought that was fucking brilliant. And I was like, this is hilarious. And I'd already been watching like some of her stuff on the slide. I sneak and listen to you guys. You don't think I do. I may not mention anything. I may not leave comments, but I'm watching you guys. You don't know.
That's a big well, that's a big thing like with Twitter. Twitter's important because that's how we actually like really see each other.
Can anyone hear me?
Oh,
Yay,
yeah.
Dutchess!
Oh my god,
Wait,
are you
oh my god,
serious?
you're there, yeah.
Yes,
DuchessDark
Gosh,
finally
you
is
have
work.
no idea. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I've been
Yes,
trying
we
to
hear
talk to
you.
you guys for 10 minutes. I've been trying to talk to you guys. I have went through everything to try and get on this.
Oh, well,
you
here
have
you
no
are now.
idea.
Yay!
Oh, fingers crossed it keeps working. So
She was
this is my
pulling
5
some
minutes of fame in case it
voodoo.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I knew you were trying. I'm like, I'm just gonna hope she figures it out because we can't wait for you anymore.
No.
And but welcome everyone. DuchessDark is here. She's the icon at the bottom of the screen. She doesn't have her
The
avatar
last
on there, but she's the icon with the lips and the smoke. She's the sacrifice on the table. So, welcome DuchessDark.
Hello.
Hi. I'm glad you can make it, and since that actually is perfect timing, I just wanted to finish up with Marg though. I want to finish with Bot and the cybernetic organism that we have here, and just ask her when did you start your channel? I don't know if I heard that part.
Oh, I started back in May. I started uploading in May.
Start uploading in May. Okay. Gabby?
They're coming on almost
Gabby?
up on a year here.
Don't say my name, Gabby. God.
Too late.
Gabby knows what I really look like. Shh.
Too
She's my gaming
late. I know what you look like too.
I know what you look like, Eden. I have blackmail on you. So
I don't give a damn. I'm eventually gonna tell everyone I look like.
at 100,000 subs, that's a little different. You gotta wait whiles to grow.
Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll be impulsive and drop it at 25K.
Ooh, you're such a tease. Such a tease. Tickling the. Never mind. And
So evil.
Anyway, so you started. Okay, so you started in May, and you're here now. That is awesome. And I really like your stuff, Marg. I think it's good. I listened to your one video, kind of trolled on it a little bit with my goofy jokes.
I saw.
Yes. That's what I like to comment and make like jokes and tell Eden's a
No,
copy
I
and
appreciate
stuff
that.
like that.
I do appreciate that. And honestly, I try to do things with my channel. I mean, obviously, I read the stories as well, but I try to do stuff that's a little different, like the one-liners for Valentine's Day. I had that planned for a while.
That was so fun.
Yeah, it really was, and it's actually one of my more popular videos, even though it has nothing to do with horror. So there's that, and then there's my interview. So like I said, I try to do things a little bit differently with my channel here and there.
Yeah, and if you don't know in the chat, I'm talking about Marg's video of it's called "Don't Watch This," I believe.
Yes.
And so she's telling you to not watch a video that she uploaded. It's mind games, everyone. Mind games.
Yeah, reverse psychology, everyone.
It is. It's actually Rick Astley's gonna be in your closet and gonna murder you after you watch it. I'm just gonna warn you.
Yeah, it's a curse.
I put you in
Sorry,
the. I put you in the. I warned you in the comments. Anyway, but yeah, go check it out if you guys ever get a chance. It's pretty entertaining. So yeah, I was gonna say something else, but I forget now. So we'll move on. Marg,
To Duchess.
Yep, Marg, thank you, and I'm very happy that you're here.
I know, me too. This is my first time actually talking to you.
That's awesome. I'm happy. That's what the point of this. This podcast is to bring narrators together and get to meet everyone and to bring their viewers together as well. All right.
Because I think that girls kind of get separated, don't they?
We
I feel
do.
like we do.
A little bit,
We do.
yeah.
We'll get to that.
So that's a discussion topic, guys.
Oh yeah. So.
Ooh, of course I hit the hot button as soon as I open my big fat mouth.
You just opened a can of worms and they're all spewing out like creepypasta.
That seems to be
Dish.
my thing. It's either good or bad. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay, and again, last but not certainly least, Duchess Darkness. Welcome. I'm glad you can finally make it. I'm glad you were able to get over your technical difficulties there. And I'm sure you've been listening already, so again, let us know how you got started, introduce yourself, and where you're at now in the CreepyPasta community on your channel.
Where am I at now as far as where
How'd you-
I'm uploading?
Just where your size, your channel, how successful it's been, and stuff like that.
It seems like lately I've gotten a lot of growth since the new year, and this past couple of weeks, I mean, it's still not even hitting 1,000, but I think that once I started doing regular, and then once I started picking theme days, that helped out my channel. I think that everybody has to do their own thing, but I like a little bit of everything, so that's what I started doing. So I'm hitting like everybody's little niche. Niche.
When did you
would
start?
say. When did I start? The first video I uploaded was the end of May. It was right before June, so end of May. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And you're here now. And how well has your or how many subs do you have now?
It says, which I don't know what it says on my channel, but the studio says 619.
619. Okay, yeah. I mean, whatever it says, it's constantly changing. So, I said that that's awesome and great to hear. You were uploading consistently through that time. You said it really started to grow at the beginning of the new year here in 2017, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Awesome.
For my channel.
No, that's fine. And I said it's all just. I said it's a constant learning process as we grow and build our channels. And is this your first channel?
No, I had another one, but I don't upload to it now. But it's my crafty channel, so.
Oh,
we'll talk
okay.
about that.
That's a secret. Shh.
It's a secret.
I think we all have Easter eggs that we can find on the internet somewhere of us.
Oh, so true.
Oh, it is, right?
Mine is so not a secret. Oh my goodness, you can just find me immediately.
I think Eden has Eden
Yeah, I
eggs.
think I know your whole name.
Yeah, when I
What?
first started,
Eggs.
my Twitter was my name because my main channel is my name. So when I first had my Twitter, it was my name, and then my handle was Blackeyed Blonde. And then I just recently changed it all to just Blackeyed Blonde and changed my picture and everything. So if you were following me from way back then, you can very easily find me.
Oh, okay.
I know I have Easter eggs that some people know of, but I prefer to keep them secret because you'll know what I look like otherwise.
I haven't said
Dun
one.
dun dun.
Da da da. So
My
I'd be
avatar
very
is my
surprised
face.
if anybody guessed who I was.
I don't know. Everyone's just like, Eden, what do you look like? Face reveal. And I'm like, dude, if you followed me back in the day, you would know what I look like. Oh, that video is no longer on the internet. But
yeah, Evan's.
funny story. But yeah, see, Evan knows what I look like.
He told me.
But because Evan was there with me in the beginning, back when I was a nobody, when I was a nothing, you know, and. So, but now it's like once I hit a certain point, honestly, not gonna lie, when I gained 1,000 subs in one day after doing that video with B-Bust, I was like, whoop, time to take it down. I deleted that video that day. I was like, that has got to go. That has got to go now.
Oh God.
When I gained 1,000 subs in one day, I was like, this
Wow.
is
Amazing.
yeah.
That is.
I collaborated with B-Busta on his video, Scary
Damn.
Sleepover Stories.
Yeah.
And that day, when that video went up, I gained 1,000 subs in a day. And I was like,
Damn.
holy
Let me-
shit.
So
And it scared me. It
Shit's
scared
crazy.
me. It terrified me so bad
Let
because I
me-
never expected to get that big.
Let me ask you, Eden. Do you get individual emails for every person that subscribes to you, or did you at that time?
Back then,
Yeah, like I get every time I get a subscriber, I get an email from YouTube.
yeah, I mean, well, now it happens so much now. They like my emails marked it as spam, so it goes to my spam folder. I used to get those emails, and now,
Yeah.
like I said, it happens so much, and it's like repeatedly the same email, so they think it's spam. So
Did-
my email
yeah, so
marks it as spam.
Did that happen when you got 1,000 subscribers in a day?
Yes, when I got 1,000 subscribers in a day, that's when my email got marked as spam. And I was like, what is this? Because it used to be, I used to get individual emails. And then as soon as that happened, I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Because back then, Corpse Husband still was small. Corpse Husband didn't even have 10,000 subs when he featured me on his channel. I think he had like 5. B-Busta was already in the 200K by that point. And when I got put on his channel, like I said, I gained 1,000 subs in a day, and it was wild, and it scared me because, like I said, when I first started, I got excited when I made 100 videos and I had 50 subs, and I was like, if I get 100 subs this year, that'll be awesome. And next year's goal will be to get 500 subs. And then not even a year goes by, and I went all the way from 50 to 1,500. Like, what?
And it's an exponential thing after that. So
yeah, and it just keeps like.
Well,
I tell people all the time, once you pass like your 1,000, now it's like when you hit 1,000, it's like, okay, I've hit 1,000. The real test of time is when you hit 10,000, because then when you hit 10,000, then you're like, okay, now it's just a steady thing now.
Yeah, it's just
and
because I look at your channel occasionally and see what I'll see what your numbers are daily just out of curiosity. Like what's your, not daily, but just your occasional growth. And
and on average now, which again, I didn't even think about this back in the day, you know, but like on average now, I get anywhere between 15 to 30 subs every day. 15 to 30 people are subbing to me every day.
Yeah, that's about right.
And that's crazy. I mean,
it is. It's cool. I mean,
it's great. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like,
it gets you excited.
I talked to Margbot, and I talked to other like smaller channels, Blackeyed Blonde, Gothic Librarian, and they always, Eve of Horror was another one, and they always go, Eden, you inspire me, like you're one of the most famous female YouTubers out there. And I don't consider myself famous because when I started, there were other narrators, female narrators who were bigger than me. You had Rainbot Horror, you had and again they did narrations up to a certain point. Madame Macabre, Dead Josie, Shadow Lovely, they all did narrations up to a certain point, and now they're doing other things. Narrations got them to where they are, and then now they started doing other stuff, and they don't really do narrations anymore, which really makes me sad, because then when that happened, now there were not very many female narrators in the community anymore. Like, it was starting to get it was always dominated by men, but it was starting to dwindle again. Like, now it's like, female narrators, what? Like, what are those? And I'm going, no, I can't let this happen. I can't let it happen. So I almost felt like a crusader, and was like, I had made it my personal mission to revive that movement. And I guess in a way it's kind of happened with or with or without my influence.
Well, the biggest thing is getting, and that's going to lead to our next topic here, guys, is, how has your experience been as female narrators in the CreepyPasta community? So what difficulties have you experienced in yourselves, or what own self-inhibitions have you felt since you started? And like, or before you started, did you feel like, as one of you said, you don't feel like a lot of stories are male-oriented? So I kind of want to lead into there now, is regards to, do you feel like that's an issue where you limit yourself to certain stories because of the characters in the stories?
I personally don't. Every story, mostly, that I've ever read has been read from a male's perspective. Yeah. And nobody seems to ever mind, and in fact they think it's a refreshing new sound to the story, even though it's the wrong gender. I've never once thought it was a hindrance, more than it's just it's more unique now. So if I went on stories that were just read by females, there's also not a lot of authors out there that are female. I would not have very many stories to read, so I would never limit myself like that.
I actually think it's weirder when a guy goes, I'm a 16-year-old girl.
Right.
I think that's weird.
Hey guys.
But like, if a girl does it, it's not that weird.
Ever. Awkward thing ever.
Just always catches you
Billy,
off
where you
guard.
going?
Yeah, no, and like imagine corpse husband. I'm a 14-year-old girl. Like what?
No, you are not fair.
I crack that joke
guys,
with him
Smurf.
all the time.
Hey.
Like he'll be like, I'm a 17-year-old girl. I'm like,
I'm a
bitch, no, you ain't.
17-year-old
That's what I tell
girl.
him. I like I message him all the time. I'm like, so you're a 17-year-old girl now, corpse?
I'm a 17.
He's like,
Oh
shut
my
up.
God.
Hey,
No, and
hey,
here's the funny.
guys.
Here's the funny
Hey.
story. The funny one is when he'll ask me to read a story with him or like read a story on his channel, and the story that he read, like the story I read, is clearly from a girl's perspective, and then the next story is also from a girl's perspective, and then he does it, and I'm like, corpse, you are all kinds of awkward. You could have put this together better. Like you could have put this together better than this. You know? And he's like,
yeah.
Hi, I'm a 16-year-old girl. Hi, I'm a 16-year-old girl.
right, exactly.
I'm
So awkward.
Butch Cassidy is my name.
Yeah. And he goes, that's just how I have it set up, Eden. And I'm like, you could have
No.
let me read it. Like you have 4 stories, 2 guys, 2 girls. Why did you make me read? I was like, why'd you make me read one of the guys? Well, one of the stories, no lie, though, was actually, you couldn't really tell what gender it was. It was kind of gender neutral. He told me later that it was from a guy's perspective. So that was the one that I read. And I'm like, you are still so weird. You could have fixed that better. Like, he goes, I'm still learning, okay? I said, so the guy with 10,000 subs. Get out of
yeah.
here.
Oh, that's when he was at 10,000 subs?
No, this was when he had like 300,000. And I was like,
yeah.
Jeez.
what's wrong with you?
I'm still learning.
Still learning.
Still learning.
Learning
I
process,
mean,
guys.
to be fair, he is though still learning. He's only 19, guys. Like
And he
Yeah.
grew really fast.
he
Yes.
did.
Yeah. It's
He grew and he read at a time. He hit the world at a time when deep web stories were very big. And
yeah.
a lot of his videos at the beginning were all deep web stories, and he connected with people, you know, who were like, he had a very different voice. Nobody in the community at that time had a voice like he did. You had, you know, you either had CreepyPasta, who had like that upper tone British,
yeah.
same thing, you know, same thing. And then you had
Mhm.
Bpasta, who had that upper tone Australian. Same thing with, you know, Lazy Masquerade, that upper tone British. You didn't have a deep, you know, baritone American voice. Not even Mr. Nightmare sounds like that. Neither does Mr. CreepyPasta. Nobody's vocal tones were like that at the time. So it was different. It was eerie. It was ominous. It was scary. So he hit the market at the right time. And
It's all time.
I don't
A lot
know.
of
That's
it's
how
timing.
it is timing. It really is timing.
Yeah, PewDiePie wouldn't be where he is now if he started now. I mean, because it's not.
Everyone does gaming now. Everybody.
Well, that
Yeah.
that area is saturated. Is very saturated. But he hit it at the right time where it wasn't really a thing to have a face cam. Like gaming videos were out there at the time, but they weren't. People didn't really have face cams. They were too shy to put a face cam out
And
there.
he had a personality.
Yeah. This weird, you know, do these scary games kind of thing, and then from there he grew, and everyone loved it, and then other channels did it, and now it's so saturated that it's hard to grow. And so that's a big thing in growth is you gotta find things that if you want to grow your channel, you gotta constantly be reevaluating your channel and find things that like what's not out there right now, what's not out there that I can do that might be unique and different, and provide that, and it will get noticed. It's not hard. It's not easy. If it was easy, then it would already be done. But it requires constant reevaluation.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people, I think, forget is that
You get you get comfortable.
not me. I'm always like, I'm not really a perfectionist, but I mean, you know, CP.
Yeah, I know.
Like there are times he knows me a little bit more on my personal level, whereas like I get really down on myself.
I'm a Dr.
and-
Phil.
Yeah, and shut up. And and I get really down on myself, and sometimes, you know, when I see people comment and they're like, you know,
Your
you're reading
tone's
the story
flat.
wrong, or your tone's flat, which everyone knows my tone's not motherfucking flat. Like if anything, it's everywhere. But when people like make comments like that, or when I'm featured on other people's channels, they're like, I didn't come here to listen to a girl, or I didn't come here to listen to a woman. You know, I wanted to listen to so-and-so. And I'm like,
Aren't those
Was
ones
it
precious? Those are my
1930?
favorite.
oh no, I
Oh.
love comments like those, like GTFO. No, but I love comments like those because they're, you know, they push me harder. Those are the comments
Yes.
that make me go, oh, you want to be a dickhead? Okay, well, I can play that game with you. I was like, not only am I going to be like, and not only am I going to continue to be on this person's channel, because let me tell you, I get all kinds of hate on Corpse Husband's channel all the time. For the equivalent amount of love I get, I also get hate.
It's jealous.
And-
Well, it's a lot of it's jealousy.
Right. And I don't think about that initially when I first see the comment. I think, oh my God, they hate me. They hate what I do. They hate my work. I need to quit. I need to stop. Like those thoughts actually go through my head. And then when I hear other people
Really?
say,
Still?
yeah, they do. Even now at this time, I still get anxiety over,
They're
you know,
just
whether
jealous.
people, yeah, I still get anxiety over whether people like my content anymore, whether people, you know, enjoy the stories that I pick, or, you know, am I doing a good enough job as a narrator? Am I doing my part as a female narrator in the community? Like, am I inspiring enough women to go out there and do this? Because that was the whole point. Like, yeah, I want to be a voice actress one day, but my biggest thing was I wanted to bring more female narrators into it because I didn't want this to be a male-dominated, you know, like genre anymore.
Aw.
And that's why half of us are here.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're here to take over.
Yeah, that's why I am here.
I'm gonna before you continue, I gotta warn DuchessDark, your mic is echoing off of Eden, so I had to mute you really quick. I don't know if you want to just adjust your settings there so it's not, or turn down Eden a little bit so she's not she's echoing me too.
Yeah.
So I got to mute you until you adjust those settings.
I guess.
Yeah, or get headphones. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry about that. I
basically,
just
we can hear
I heard it and
ourselves
I had to.
here.
I don't want it to. Otherwise, it's gonna get it kind of. That's because Duchess hiding in Eden's closet. Night Companion says.
Yeah, right. That'd be weird.
I'm gonna just turn it down really low so I can. Make
That's
sure
how
I
much
can hear
Eden inspires us. We have to stalk her. Hide in her closet.
Hide in my closet. Oh my God.
Everyone's kind of echoing. Does
Some of you
someone
are
have the
recording this
stream
is a good
playing?
story.
That's it's hold on. It's DuchessDark. She's echoing. So
Oh, why is it her fault?
now you can keep her on, but I have to mute her until she figures it out. If you hear echoing through her channel, then or if it stops, then I'll unmute her. But for now, I have to mute her. Just
You're echoing too.
yeah, but I have her muted so the podcast doesn't hear her. So
Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah, because everything goes through my system here.
There's a wicked echo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Echo. We're on a mountain.
Cool.
All right, so
It actually kind of sounded creepy.
Sergio, thanks for the subscription, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, it is kind of creepy. I'm behind you. I don't know if that worked. But so one question I gotta go. All right, Blood, thanks for hanging out, man. Awesome. You have a great night. So one question I had for you guys was, and this is kind of something I kind of heard. How often do you get asked to do a collab where you want to play a child, where they ask you to play a child?
All the time. No Sleep podcast has been pretty notorious about doing that to me lately. And it's not because, like, that's all I'm good at, but I do it well, and they like to stick with what works.
They like to play it safe.
They want to play it safe. And I read as a normal character one time, and they really, really liked it. So they said, hey, we're gonna bring you in for more projects, but for right now, they're like, turnover. The turnover for it is like they like the turnover to be really fast, and they know that I can get it done really, really quickly. And so I just knock it out. And they're like, okay, later up some actual like more stuff to read later. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. I'm getting paid, so it's whatever. But I mean, I don't actually get as far as for other people's channels though, I don't get asked to play a child much. I get asked to play very strange characters.
What kind of strange characters?
I get crazy. Crazy. I do crazy well. Because everyone loves my crazy laugh.
What's your crazy
and
laugh?
then,
Let's hear it.
Yeah. No, I don't want to do it right now. I don't want to do it right now. No.
I'm shy. I don't want to do it.
That has to happen at least
I can't do it on the spot like that.
It'll happen. Shut up. I will do it later.
The people want to hear you're crazy. They want to hear your.
Hear my crazy. I don't know. You want to hear me do my crazy?
People want it. The people ask for it.
They want to hear my crazy. Hold on. I need some water. It's gonna take some effort.
type of crazy you did in that last Dad's Tape video. That was perfect.
God.
I loved it. Loved it.
Oh,
That's great.
awesome.
Both you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Eden
Did all the work.
Yeah, that everyone loves that accent. I don't understand. It's so hard to maintain.
There was.
But it's worth it.
It was funny when we were doing those episodes because we knocked them all out in like one night. Most all of them in one night. And and there was one episode where we didn't really realize who one of the characters were, and so I ended up changing my voice for it. But then it was Mr. Friendly in it, and so she had this southern accent, and I pulled off a southern accent. I'm like, and we had to stop within like 2 minutes because I'm like, this is gonna sound weird. It's just two southern people talking to each other.
Exactly. And then we read later on in the story, we're like, oh, wait. You get to stay. You get to keep your own voice. It's fine. I'm the one that has to do this stupid thing.
Yeah, we had to
do that in a British accent. It was weird.
Yeah, we just had to restart the whole thing. We're like, that ain't working. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
So,
But
the trials and tribulations of trying to figure out the story, because the story is so complicated that we're reading it, and we're like, who the hell is this? We're like, so we had to actually read further into the story to figure it out, because the story is so in depth and has so many hidden meanings in it. Like, you really have to pay attention. Like
it's a 12-part series.
Yeah,
it's
like
pretty long.
When the whole
And that's
series
not
is
even,
out.
I think actually not even including, because there was a hidden thing. There was a hidden tape that I found. So it's actually 14 parts.
Whoa.
Yeah,
There's
it's
2 hidden
actually
tapes.
14. I thought it was 12 tapes, but it's actually 14 tapes. I found 2 hidden tapes that I need to go back and actually record for them. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I was like, oh my goodness. And it's so in depth and it's so well thought out. Like, I love Easy Misery's work.
Yeah, it's
she's brilliant.
Oh, she's so great.
Yeah.
And she's so
really
nice.
brilliant. Yes, I know. I asked her like a year ago. I was like, hey, can I do Dad's tapes? Because one of my subscribers at the time asked me, you should really do it. It's amazing. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I asked her early on. She's like, yeah, you can do it. Just make sure you credit me and link me back when you're done. And I'm like, oh my God, yay. She's been so busy though, because she's been getting ready to release her new book.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
Actually, it's funny that you mention her and asking to read as a child. I did her story, The Best Christmas Ever. And that was my first story I ever read reading as like in a child voice. And I also did a child voice on one of my Elf on the Shelf.
Oh God, Elf on the
yes,
Shelf is
yes.
so creepy.
What's your child voice?
Yeah.
Can you pull it off right away, or on the spot?
I was actually kind of. Hold on. I gotta think.
I can do
I'm
my
trying to
child
think of-
voice on the spot, whereas I can't do my laugh.
Well, I
on
get
the
nervous.
spot.
I think I've only had to
'Cause
do a
it's
child's voice
different.
once.
I did it.
Okay.
I have such a hard time.
Daddy. No, that's not even it. No, I can't do it on the spot. I probably the story I'm gonna read that I picked. I was gonna do it, so I'm gonna have to do it. So it'll happen when we get to that point.
You're a narrator. It's okay.
I need to think of a line.
You just gotta put your mind to it. Yay!
I'm tired, Mommy. I don't want it.
I could.
Well, you gotta have it.
All right, we're just gonna have
Listen
a
here,
whole
young
bunch.
lady.
We're just gonna have a whole bunch of
That didn't
children
even
here at
make
the
any
table.
sense, but
Everyone
Yeah,
go.
Bye, Theurgen.
Firigen, thanks for
Bye,
stopping by.
Tyrion.
It was a pleasure having you. I hope you have a wonderful night. And you know, just play it while you're going to bed. It's relaxing music. It's some nice piano.
It's
Fancy.
from
Children
Tia
yelling.
Finley.
We'll
Fancy.
say some very disturbing things to inspire your
Yeah.
nightmares.
By the way, for all of us in here, if you don't know what music I'm playing, it's in the Narrators library. If you want to play it in the background as well.
I've already been listening to it for like
Yeah.
the last 45 minutes.
Yes, it's
Because I
like,
love Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, he's really good.
Oh, me too.
I
Oh my gosh, now I have to click on it.
love.
Yes, click on it.
That's what's been playing in the background the whole time. So.
Yeah, I'm like 45 minutes in already.
But guys,
Actually,
know
no,
what?
I'm 57 minutes.
No, what we'll do is we're gonna take about a 5-minute break here. Everyone will get all the speakers, everyone a chance to get a drink, go to the bathroom, and everyone, and we'll be right back. So, guys, if you got two viewers in the chat, if you gotta take a potty break, you are more than welcome, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. So,
Yay,
Thanks.
5-minute break. Woo!
thanks everyone for hanging out. I'll see you again in
BRB.
5.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Mike's coming back on.
All right.
Welcome back, everyone, and sorry for that, but we had to get potty breaks and get some more drinks
Get
and
some
water
liquor.
and stuff.
Get
ready.
some liquor.
Get some liquor. Get some of that brown, tasty water.
That's right.
And hey, I've only had 2 at this point.
I can't keep that up.
Last
I cannot.
live stream, I had like 4 at this point, and I just kept pouring in. Like,
He was 3 sheets to the wind gone.
oh, I felt horrible the next day. Absolutely horrible.
no.
I wasn't present for that. I showed up at the end when the stream was over.
For 10 seconds, and you passed out.
I had to go to work. I got off work, and then I got off work after that, and then I went home, and I was like, "Boob, I'm tired." I had a long day.
A likely story.
Yes.
It was true.
I have a question for you, ladies.
What's that?
Why do you think it's tougher for the female narrators to make it in this community than the males?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually I do this, and I want girls to be successful. Like, trust me, I actually personally prefer to listen to a male voice. So that was perfect.
Guilty.
That somebody dropped some glass after I said that. Like, no.
How dare you!
Actually, the glasses
think-
in the background work well with
Real
this music.
weird.
I think generally people I don't know. It's like deeper and soothing. Like, I wish I had a deep, soothing voice. I don't know.
I know what you mean. I totally feel the same way.
So when you're listening to depending on who you're listening to, like Duchess, for example, I think your voice is very soothing, like very, very nice and
So
calming to listen to. And it's sometimes if you're listening to a girl, it's more upbeat, and you're like, a lot of people listen to these stories to go to sleep. So if you're listening to more upbeat voice, you might have trouble falling asleep to it.
Then,
I wonder how much of our stories are gone unheard because people listen to them while they're going
Fall
to bed.
asleep to them,
Oh
yeah.
my god, that's like my life is listening to people when
That's
I go to
flattering,
sleep.
though. If people can fall asleep to a story that
Yeah.
I've narrated, that's flattering.
Right, same here. I get compliments all the time where they're just like, "Oh my god, Eden, I listen to you when I go to bed." I'm like, "Whoa."
Thank you. I lull you into darkness.
Right. No, someone actually, one of the weirdest but most interesting comments I ever got was, "I want to sleep in a bed sheet made of Eden's voice." And I was like,
Nice.
What?
I was like,
You live
that's
in a
interesting.
fantasy world, sir.
I don't know whether to be
Well, no,
flattered or terrified.
Right, exactly. I don't know
What does
whether to
it
be
mean?
scared or what, but it was funny because I never thought that personally when I would listen to creepypastas and horror stories back in the day before I became a narrator, I never listened to Mr. Creepypasta or CreepyPasta to go to bed to. I always listen to them when I'm doing something, I'm doing work or
Cooking
I'm
is what
drawing
I
or something
do
like
it.
that. I never ever listen to them when I go to bed. I can't, I'm my imagination's way too vivid. And I have a really overactive imagination. So when they're telling me the story and I'm laying in bed trying to sleep, I envision the whole thing happening and it freaks me the fuck out, especially if it's a really scary story. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta turn all the lights on now. For all of you guys who know, I scare really fucking easy.
I can't
Oh my
wait.
god, me too.
I
Don't
can't
feel
wait.
So you basically freak
Eden,
yourself
I
out in the
cannot
process.
wait.
Yes!
That's
When I was
awesome.
reading, oh my god, okay, like one of my most popular stories, Room 733, I legit freaked myself out reading that story. And they're like, oh my god, your emotion was so genuine. Like I could tell, like it sounded like
I
you were
was
really
scared.
scared. I was like, I was really scared.
Wow. I don't think I've ever been scared at anything I've read. I think I've been deeply disturbed, but not afraid.
You're just reading it and you're like, ah!
What?
Just confirm in the
Or when
comments
somebody,
really quick. Can you guys hear us?
Oh
Some
yeah.
people are like,
Oh, I think it's because we weren't on yet.
trouble.
And remember,
Okay.
they get it delayed, so that's why.
Oh,
They
yeah,
should be
that's
able to hear
right.
us. It's
Oh, good,
it's
okay,
it should
we're
be
good.
going through.
Yay!
wanted to make
Fabulous.
sure.
I'm getting a few drop.
Oh,
I'm getting some drop
Taco
frames.
Cat, it
so.
said it just ended for me, showing me the replay symbol.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I just hit the I just refreshed.
I would just refresh it.
Maybe refresh Taco, yeah.
Let me.
Yeah, I guess they can't hear it because Cannibal hears it all.
Cannibal hears it all. All
I
of
he-
it.
I hear it.
Every
I-
little bit of it.
I hear it
Even the little
all.
things.
Cannibal's a good guy. He's
Oh,
he's
Detective
he's a,
Creeps.
Yeah, half of them can.
If you're having trouble, guys, just try to refresh it and see what happens.
Just hit F5.
I think
Yeah,
we're trying
only
to
putting
they
that-
probably can't see us.
Slam it with your finger.
Yes. Punch it. Punch the key so hard it breaks through.
Yeah, it's still working.
Whole table.
Then you got a whole new problem to worry about.
I have some.
Exactly.
I'm dropping
And you won't
frames.
be worrying about here or not.
Give me hold on, let me try something here. It might. I have an issue sometimes with my internet, and it likes to be a little finicky because I am dropping frames a bit, and that might be an issue here. It's usually I get interference. My router gets interference sometimes from something. I have to change its channel. This might cause the stream to drop for a second, but it will be right back on.
Okay.
But what I usually do is change the channel. You guys won't know. I might drop off Discord for a second.
Pitt's so funny. He's like, please don't convince people to break their own shit. They won't listen to me.
I'm sure you could convince them to do lots of things.
I don't think I have that kind of influence.
Well, I mean, that's how half of us ended up here because we listened to you and we're like, we have to do this. Telling us, calling us.
One of
Well,
us.
I am extremely happy that I was able to influence you guys even a little bit. Because again, this was like, to me, this community is so small, like the horror narrating community, but it's getting bigger. And I wanted you guys to be a part of it while it was still in the small stage. So that way, when it gets bigger, you guys get the recognition you deserve. Because like I said, men shouldn't be the only ones who dominate in this field. Like, yeah, they're good. They're like, oh, I want to listen to a male voice, and yeah, male voices can do it, I guess. I don't listen to them when I sleep, but at the same time, there's some stories that
sexy.
Yeah, exactly. There's some stories that just cannot be told beyond. They just can't be told by a man. Like there's some stories that cannot be told.
You actually want to hear a 20-year-old female telling the story, which is saying she's a 20-year-old female.
Exactly.
No, that's exactly how I feel about it.
You did inspire me then, but I also at first just discovered about the biggest narrator, and you were the only girl one, so I kinda thought you were like a one-time wonder. So
yeah.
I thought, well, one, I'm a female. Two, English isn't even my main language, so who am I kidding here? No one is ever going to like my channel, but I didn't care. I just liked doing it, so I went for it. And then, like I said before, the ones who really got me to pick it up again after I left it down for months were Lady White Rabbit, which I'm so honored to speak to finally, and Belladonna Black. After I heard them, I was like, oh fuck, there are so many talented female narrators. It's not just Eden. So, goddamn, they're doing
Eden.
it. Okay.
What?
I'm gonna do it as well.
I love it. Yeah, Eden. I'm like, what? What did I do? No, I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm glad. Like every time, a female comments on my videos or they message me, like Margbot for the longest time, like she would always message me on Twitter, like, oh my God, Eden, I love your stuff. And then finally she's like, oh my God, Eden, I think I'm really gonna do this. I'm like, do it. Like don't just say you're gonna do it. I was like, do it. You're like, do you think I'd be okay?
I
was
like that.
Well, I mean, it's true. You were just like, I don't know if I really want to do what you do, but I'm not sure if I have what it takes. I'm like, fuck what everyone thinks. Just do what you want to do. Like, that's what I tell everyone. Don't worry about whether anyone's going to like you. Don't worry about whether
anybody else. Just be you.
Exactly.
You
Just
got to.
be
If you,
yourself.
It's hard.
Be you. Don't ever try to. And see, that was my problem, is that when I got pulled into the group, I was the only female. Because like I said, Madame Macabre, Shadow Lady, Shadow Lovely, Dead Josie, Rainbot, they were all doing their own thing. They weren't doing narrations anymore. So I literally was the only girl. And I had all this pressure on me.
Yay.
I had all this pressure on me, like, what am I gonna do? Like, what will I have to contribute with all these male horror narrators around me, I don't have anything to contribute because they've already dominated everything. And then Corpse literally just told me, and same thing with B-Bust, all of them. They're just like, Eden, keep doing what you do because you bring something to the table that they haven't heard before. You're bringing something to the table that people want, and they don't realize that's what they want yet, but you have to let them see that that's what they want.
Well, see, I think that's what makes channels like yours and Creeperoni's different, is that you guys actually bother with the voice acting, and a lot of other people are just sitting there narrating. And I mean, there's stories that call for just the narration part of it, but you really bring the stories to life. And I mean, a lot of other channels, like you said, female narrators kind of just moved on into other things, whereas you kept developing your art. And I've seen from, you know, your earliest videos till now that how much you've grown as a voice actress.
And that's such a big thing.
You gotta put all your energy into it.
That's such a big thing, and when I was on Eden's stream with Atticus, we talked about that after we got off stream. Was like, it's not just reading a story. It never is. It's you are acting, you are voice acting, and you have to play the character. You have to live their emotions when you read it. You read the story and you very importantly, you look at the descriptions of what the scenario is. And then you think, how would I fit in that scenario? What would I say? What would I do? Yes. And you have to bring that in. Otherwise, if you don't, you're not going to get the results you want in your story.
Gotta have that immersion.
Exactly.
Right. The immersion has to be genuine. And that's something that like can kind of be like a bad thing and a good thing for me, because sometimes some of my best stories, honestly, are the ones where I genuinely am scared and when I'm genuinely crying. Like when you hear me cry.
Your competition video.
People
comment on my stuff all the time. They're like, "Oh, honey," like I've gotten a few comments like, "Oh, sweetie, are you okay? You always sound like you're about to cry." And I'm like, "Well, do you think that the person in the situation is happy?"
Yeah.
They're having a great old time.
I know, right? Like some of my
I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm not sad."
Yeah, I'm not sad, but like the emotion. But if I can evoke those emotions out of someone else because the story evoked that emotion out of me, then I've accomplished what I intended to do.
Yeah.
Which was to make you feel what I felt when I read the story. If I make you cry by hearing me cry, then mission accomplished. You felt exactly what I felt in that moment, and that's what I wanted to, bring to you.
Exactly. And if that depends a lot on the story as well, because if the story is written so, then it's kind of hard to really get into it. But if it's really a nice and moving story, then you're not even narrating the story. The story is getting words out of you.
Yeah, it's funny that you guys say that, because I just I just recently did a story on Dr. Creepin's channel called Ellie and Elmer, and it called for, an older lady, which I wasn't very good at doing an older lady story.
I listened to that video today. It was very good.
Thank you. But I got a comment on there because I like to go through the comments, and somebody said, "Oh, well, this wasn't supposed to be voice acting. This was supposed to be just narrating. So you ruined the story." And I'm sitting here thinking,
Who are you?
Wow.
Who are you? Do you even go here?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
She doesn't even go here.
I haven't had time to listen to that, but I saw it's Dr. Creepin and Penny Dreadful Moment, and I love them as much as it is already seeing that. So I'm already like, hell yeah, I have to watch this, but I have like 50 videos that I need to catch up with. So I haven't had time to listen to it yet, but I will, and I am sure I will love it so much.
Aww.
Well, the thing is with voice acting, is that when you're telling a story, it's one thing when you're telling a story, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of true scary stories, because it limits me and I feel like I can't really shine doing true scary stories.
True.
I need to have the
Yeah.
emotion. That's when I do best because I'm like,
Ex-
oh, anything I'm feeling is just gonna go into this story.
Right. And the thing is like a lot of people say, "Oh, I wish you did more true scary stories." And if I were to sell out, because that's what everyone's a lot of my friends are just like, you should do true scary stories. Hell, even Corpse tells me, he's like, if you want more subs, Eden, you should totally do true scary stories. And I'm like, I'm not about to be a sellout. I'm not gonna do what I don't like. I'm not gonna do what I don't like just to get more subs.
I do fact and fiction. If it's true, I'll say that it's true, but I'm not gonna do all of that only.
Exactly. Like the pretty much for me is every once in a blue moon, which God knows when was the last time I did a true scary story, Lord. But once in a blue moon, I'll do a true scary story, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, you should do this more often." I was like, "But guys, I don't like doing these because
if it's not fun, why do it?
It's not fun." Exactly. Like you can only get. I mean, Lady White Rabbit, you probably know because you probably get submissions all the time where you can only hear the same story so many times before they start sounding like the same story.
And I've had people like,
listen to
"Oh my
Gas
God, you
Station
sound so
and the man
bored when you're reading the story." I'm like, "It's because I am bored. I don't want to read this."
Yeah, it's like the
man
true
followed
scary
me
story.
into the gas station,
Right.
and he tried to chase me after,
But
and then I
everything's fine
ran.
now.
And
But
now
everything's
I'm
fine
good.
now,
Thank
and I
God I made it
survived.
home. Let's not meet.
Yeah, exactly. Guy who chased me at the gas station. Let's not meet. And I'm like,
Let's not meet. Like, comment, and subscribe, please.
So, I mean, I've done that. My main focus is, the creepypastas, but I've done the true stories, and the video I did for the human trafficking one, I felt that it was important that a woman do a video like that because the boys are always doing videos like that, but I mean, there's just a level that they can't relate to us women while they're telling these stories. So that's one of the things that I look for when I tell a true story. Yes, the creepypastas aren't as popular, but that's always going to be my main thing. That's where my heart is.
Yeah, exactly.
But every once in a while, I try to do the true stories because, like I said, there's certain tales that should be told by a woman because, they were felt by a woman.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, is like, no offense, Southern Cannibal, because he's like, damn, hating on the true stories in the comments. But it's true. Because I feel it's not like that. I'm not hating on anyone who does true scary stories. It's just not for me because again, you can only read and narrate those stories so many times before it literally starts bleeding into the same story. Like,
and that's where I was going with my thing. I wasn't trying to poke the jab.
Yeah, exactly. It literally it gets to a point where you're like, because again, I try to support my boys as much as possible. I try to listen to Southern Cannibal. I try to listen to, Bee Busta and Corpse and Lazy Masquerade and Your Maker. And then I listen to it and I'm like, damn, I'm listening to the same motherfucking thing. It's just different people's voices.
Southern Cannibal's in the chat right now.
I don't know if Southern Cannibal can answer this. I feel like all the bigger channels, they either get submitted by viewers the same story, like a person will submit to all of the bigger channels, because I'll listen to like Bee Busta, Corpse, oh my gosh, Southern Cannibal. Why am I blanking out?
I don't know. You just pick. So the Cal's gonna pick down like no one right
I
now.
wasn't blanking out on
SC's gonna be like, why y'all picking on me in the chat?
No, so
the Grim Reader.
He was like, man, y'all are hating on true scary stories. It's harsh. He brought the comment up first. I was trying to tell him we're not hating on you because you do true scary stories. Where I just don't like them because literally it gets to the point where it sounds like it's the same thing. And you're right, Blackeyed Blonde. They do get submitted the same stuff because like. When
they'll have the same stories, and I'm like, oh,
see, the thing
I just listen to that.
They go looking on Reddit. That's what they do, like the true story.
Right.
Most of them only stick to Reddit, and that's why we see stuff over and over again.
We go on No Sleep, which are designed to sound true, but a lot of them aren't.
But it's weird because it's always one specific story. It's not like every other one. Oh, what was the one? That Shia LaBeouf story. Where the girl is crazy. I heard that story like 500 times.
I wish it were that.
No, the Shia LaBeouf story. I don't know if you guys heard it.
No.
Where it's like the guy has the roommate and she's obsessed with Shia LaBeouf. I know
Oh
it's
my god, she's just like my old roommate. I remember that story. My old roommate was
Yeah.
obsessed with the guys from Supernatural. Just like that.
yeah.
It was
Oh
so
my
weird.
god, that's creepy
Yeah.
because I was playing that creepy girl in that story on Corpse Husband's channel.
Oh my god.
See, I like that because he was a little different because it was a girl's voice in it, so that was like a little, oh, okay, I heard this before, but that added something to it. But a lot of the bigger channels did that story, and it's not a bad story, and everyone did a great job. I was just like, oh, I've
Heard it 4 times though.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's I mean, I just try to support my boys, I really do, but it gets to a point where I'm like, I'm hearing the same thing over and over and over again.
See,
God dang.
I really like listening to the true stories everyone else does, but personally, I like narrating the stories that my fiance does because I don't know, original stuff is I don't really get that too much, you know.
Right. Oh my god. Every time I get an exclusive story, I lose my shit. Like I'm like, yes, this is mine. No one's heard
Right?
this. It's never been featured.
Give it to me.
You know, yeah. No, I get comments all the time. Like, okay, for instance, there's a story called Robert the Shadow that's on my channel that a lot of people like because it's like it's horror, but it's got like this dark comedy feel to it. And Axeman wrote that specifically for me. He wrote it where he's never been posted on the internet. He's like, I'm writing this just for you. Like, it's exclusively for you. And I'm like, yes. And so people are like, oh my God, I want to read this story. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's exclusive. Like, you have to talk to him about it. But as of right now, it's mine. You can't take it. Go away.
Get away.
Go away.
Yeah,
Go away.
that's really good when you kind of get a unique story like that. Because even like last week, got a comment on a live, or sorry, not a live, true search and rescue stories. It was the first time I ever did that, right after Lazy first featured me. So I was like, yeah, I'll give something out to his fans who are all coming from his channel. Put that video out there, 2-3 years ago, and like last week somebody was like, this is bullshit, I've heard this like 20 times now, like get some original content. And I'm like, dude, this story's been up for 3 years, of course people are gonna do it since then.
No one reads no one reads the description box. No one reads the description box.
I want to ask though, since we were talking about, original stories and whatnot, have you guys ever had submissions where the person is lying to you and they're telling you that they just submitted?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No lie. Someone emailed me straight up. Someone emailed me a story that was word for word copied from another author who is a really good friend of mine.
Oh wow.
Oh no.
That's
no lie. He like changed the names up and everything, but he sent me a story and I was like, you do realize, and I called him out on it, I was like, I'm gonna give you one chance. I said, you're literally you sent me a story that is
plagiarism.
Right, and he tried to name it. He tried to call it something else. I was like, you have just stolen a story from one of my really good friends, Matt Demersky, the writer for Psychosis.
Oh,
yeah.
Bad idea. Nice.
Yeah, stole from him, and I was like, this is word for word his story. I've already narrated this story. I'm about to put it up next week. He wrote it. I was like, it's on his blog. It's on Reddit. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you need to. I was like, I'm gonna give you one chance to recant yourself right now. And he was like, and then he confessed. He said that for whatever reason, someone submitted that to him and told him, hey, you should send this to Eden and say that it's your story. She'll like it. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid?
Shame.
So
Shame.
Yes, right. Shame. Hit it.
Shame.
Walk of shame. That's right. Fucking Game of Thrones in this bitch.
let's make him get naked and cut our hair off.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I've had that, and I guess people don't realize that we talk amongst each other because I've had 2 stories submitted to me that were supposedly exclusive, but they were submitted to my friends in my same circle of narrator friends at the same exact time. And it was supposedly, supposed to be an exclusive story, but it's just so irritating when people try to do that. They think we don't talk.
Well, I think because the gaming community is so
vast.
Well, like the gaming community is so vast that you can't. You'll have a group of people that you make friends with, and you kind of stick with that. But the CreepyPasta community or the narrators community is much more tight knit. There's not. It requires a little bit more skill to do, so there's not as big of a crowd. So we find each other even more easily, especially because we want to do collabs with each other and we want each other's voices and each other's stories, especially for other characters. So that's something that I don't think these people who plagiarize and straight up just download our videos and put it on their channel, realize that like we're all like watching out for each other most
Right.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, we have a community.
Yeah, we're watching out for the authors and we're watching out for ourselves.
Exactly. And of course, with every community, you have like a few bad apples. Like a few people who are just like, you just have a few of them that are just like, you are clearly doing it for, like your own selfish reasons. You don't give a shit about the community. You just want to get what you want to get out of whoever you want to get it out of, and then never like talk to them ever again. And sometimes it's like that. Like I said, there's a few bad apples out there that are like that I would probably never work with or even want to work with because of, the reputation or whatever. But overall, the community, we all keep in touch with each other. Like we do, and we keep tabs on each other, and we make sure, everything's okay, and, make sure that people aren't slandering people needlessly. Like and making sure that there aren't any false copyright claims going around, like with
Yes, that's been such a
Oh my
problem.
god, that's been horrible lately.
Yeah.
Oh,
YouTube really needs to do something about that.
Well, if you've ever disputed a claim, you can. If you feel like you have a legitimate chance to dispute it, go ahead and dispute it. A lot of times what happens if you dispute a claim that you have, like let's say, like I've had it before on my old channel where I had to dispute a claim because I bought the license. I had the license. And I got a copyright claim when I posted the video. So I disputed, and the group that copyright claimed me never responded back. And if they don't respond back, it's an automatic win for you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
but
I had somebody false monetize my
How
video a while ago, and I had to
Oh,
like get them
God.
twice. It was ridiculous. I'm like, this is royalty free. How can they even do this? Like, what?
Yeah, I had
Right, exactly. There's this one fucking CD baby. I swear to God, I'm gonna go after them with a pitchfork. Goddamn, because they kept flagging me for the same fucking. Okay, so there was a series I was doing on my channel called Higanbana. When I was posting up videos, it was like a 14-part series, and they kept flagging me for this fucking song. And this is how I know that like they were just using a scanner or something, or they were just scanning like audio or something like that. Because I used a song and that on that specific visual novel, I used that song multiple times in different videos, but they never flagged those videos. They just flagged the Higanbana stuff because they knew that it was coined to Higanbana because it originally came out with that OST. And so I disputed it because I was like, first of all, this is Creative Commons. This is like, I have every right to put this up here because for all intents and purposes, this is a parody. I'm reading a visual novel, and I'm encouraging people to go buy the game, like to go buy the visual novel to read for themselves. And I even got permission from Ryukishi7 himself, the writer to this visual novel over in Japan. I mean,
wow.
I got permission from him because the game, if it had gone to Manga Reader, I would have had some problems because then Manga Reader would have been like, no, you can't do it. But it wasn't licensed with Manga Reader. It went back to Ryukishi7 for 07th expansion. And I contacted him and I said, hey, I keep getting flagged for your video on this same, and it's the same track over and over again. And I went to CD Baby's website and I was like, no, you are protecting Morgan on this particular song, not Morgan, the artist herself. She doesn't have, like, you don't have the licensing rights to do this. You're protecting her, but not for this song specifically. And then after that, like, and they flagged me fucking again. I was like, I swear to God, CD Baby, you flag me one more fucking time, I'm going to contact Ryukishi7 myself and have him email the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this
flag shit. You, right?
Yeah, flag you, hell, for false copyright claims. False content ID claims.
Pickclover asks, have any of you dealt with people claiming to be yourselves?
I haven't had a double yet. I have not had a
Not
double
in this
yet.
community, no.
Or basically, have you found any other YouTubers that have copied your videos or downloaded your videos and reposted them as their own?
No.
I don't think I'm big enough for that.
Yeah, not yet. Like, I've seen...
People have done reaction videos to the animated short that Axeman and I did together with Let's Read.
The Sarah. Sarah.
Yeah, the Sarah.
That's
yeah, no, but I've had people react to those videos, and it just gets to a point where it's like, right now, girls, and anyone out there who is listening, it gets to a point where eventually you can't stop them all. You can't stop them all.
No, yeah.
It gets to a certain point where you have to worry about your own ass, where you have to be like,
You
okay,
can't
do
go
I have any
out hunting for
copyright
them.
claims? Yeah, exactly. It's like, do I have any copyright claims on me? Do I have any like content ID claims on me? No. If someone else steals it, then it gets to a point where you're like, okay, do I need to have an MCN to take care of this stuff? Now, I am signed with a network, and they take care of that stuff for me. Like, they go and they find those things, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna reverse this revenue back to Eden because this is clearly Eden's work.
Yeah, like I found one channel, he was blatantly and he was monetizing them. He was blatantly copying videos, and I emailed. It was a Mr. CreepyPasta video, and I emailed him. I sent him a message on his whatever his business Gmail was on his YouTube account, and let him know. He never responded back to me, but just it's if I was him, I would appreciate someone at least letting me know that that's happening. That way, I'm not hunting for it, but if someone's telling me, like, hey, you can.
Some people actually go out of their way and flag videos for me. I don't do any of that stuff.
You can't officially in the YouTube policy. You can't, as a viewer, you can't go if you find someone that's blatantly flagging. If you try go to someone's channel and try to flag a video, and it'll say, it has to be your video. It cannot be someone's that it's someone else's video. It has to be your own.
Yeah, it has to be your own video.
And that's actually something that only recently changed because people used to flag people all the time.
Well, yeah, you control that way.
Yeah. Which really sucked.
But yeah, now it's a way where the viewer. So instead of what I'll do if I find it, like especially for narrators, if I find someone's stuff, I'll email the narrator, and be like, hey, this channel is copying your stuff, and if you want to do something about it, here it is. Up to you. Bye. So
yeah,
I don't expect a response back from them, especially if it's 1 million viewer or subscriber channel. We'll see if he even gets the email or goes straight to a spam.
Yeah, which is
I have a question.
Oh,
I just recently heard that if you flag someone, that YouTube gives your legal info out. Is that true?
If you dispute,
Spooky Boo had a problem with that.
Yeah, apparently this is how fucked up YouTube works. So if you contest something that was content ID flagged and you dispute it, and then they challenge you, and then you try to challenge them back, you are required to give your personal information out, but they're not required to give their personal information out to you, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Especially for most of us who try to stay anonymous or try to stay, like hidden, and we don't want our information given out there. Some people will legitimately try to do that stuff to you just to like get your personal info. Because I know Rob Dyke was having that kind of issue where like people were just flagging him because they wanted his personal info.
Yeah.
That's really freaking weird.
That's just trying to. That is creepy and stalkerish and identity theft kind of thing.
Well, I mean, what was it? A couple months ago, I had an issue where there was a copyright claim against one of my videos, and I disputed it once, but that first dispute just goes back to the same person who started it. YouTube never even looks at it, which I was actually shocked to find out. And then they came back and they fought it again, and YouTube told me, if you fight this again and you lose, we're gonna give your channel a strike. And I'm just sitting here thinking, you guys aren't even looking at this, you're just throwing it back to the person who started this. So
a lot of those are automated emails.
Yeah.
So if you talk to someone in some type of network or administrator in the YouTube business, they will usually work with you a little bit better.
Yeah, that's why I try to tell people, I was like, if you don't want to get an MCN, then don't. But sometimes MCNs are really helpful. Like, I waited until about, I think I hit 15,000 subs before I decided to get an MCN to help me with those kind of things. And they're the ones who, if someone tries to challenge me on something, like, prime example, there was a video I did called Red Riding Hood. It was an animated short basically and it was a rendition of the Red Riding Hood story, and it was on Newgrounds. I got the video off of Newgrounds, and according to Newgrounds' policy, anyone who posts a video on Newgrounds, it is open season for anybody to take it, so long as they change it and make it their own. And by changing it, even if you change the musical track, even if you change the musical track, that was originally in the video, but you keep all the original voices, it still was changed. So it's still your own.
I forget that it's called something, because I do it a lot to get around copyright issues. Like I'll blend pictures or something. Like the No End House 2 is a lot of everything in there is generally common law. And like even movie scenes, you can get common law and get away with like a very short clip of a movie scene without it being a copyright issue. That's part of common law. And so I learned that when I did my gaming, because I would take clips from movies and like throw them in the corner or something, as long as it's not the main feature of your video. But
right, and that's what I tell people. Like, you just, learn where to fight your battles. And again, like, that was something that my MCN took care of, was because I gave them all the information and they were like, oh, okay, no, you're fine. They can't flag you for this. You're allowed to monetize this because, you changed it. It's now your own creation. Even though you took the animation, you credit it, like you used your own voice, you used your own sound effects, you used your own, background music that was given to me by Miyuji. The entire thing was done by Miyuji. I got his permission for it. It's just one of those things where, like, you just know when to pick your battles, really, and know the law and know where you can get around certain things. And if someone tries to feed you some bullshit, like, you need to know whether they're feeding you lies or whether they're like genuine about, hey, you might want to avoid this kind of thing.
If you don't mind me asking, because I'm very new, is the MCN?
MCN?
It's a network.
Is that's your network?
Well, it's MCN is like it's like MCN basically stands for multimedia channel networks or media channel networks. That's basically what that stands for. And there are different types of networks. Like there's Scale Lab, there's Maker Gen, there's Polaris, there's what was it? I'm trying to think. Full Screen is another one. That's the one that Corpse is with. Corpse is with Full Screen. There's Broadband TV.
Can I ask you, Eden, when did you get a notification from them? Like, how big were you?
Oh, me? Oh, no. I got my first notification from them. I got when I had like 400 subs. They'll grab you at any time.
Oh, yeah. They can.
They'll grab you at any time.
You gotta be careful, though. There's a lot of scam networks.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You gotta really research what's offering. Anyway, we're gonna get away from the YouTube, because that's kind of getting away from our topic for the night.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I wanted to Corpse left Full Screen. He said Southern SC.
Yeah, his contract was up.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had a 2-year contract with them.
Yeah, I've been paying attention to chat as you've been chatting here. Just trying to make sure no one's question gets ignored. Naaman asked, question away from this honestly saddening topic, which he was talking about the copyrights and stuff like that. What are your most breakout? What are your breakout or most successful videos?
My Dogman stuff is really my most successful videos, which is kind of interesting.
Is that a series?
The cryptid Dogman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I have 2 of those videos out. One's a werewolf skinwalker and one's a Dogman video. And both of those are doing really well considering like my size and everything. They have 6,000 and 5,000 views, which are the biggest videos on my channel. And actually in the cryptid community, DDoS and calls me Queen Cryptid. He's DDoS from Bigfoot Dogman Research Project. I've done a few videos on his channel. I think Marbot, you
Yes,
did
I've
as well?
actually done a few on his channel too. He's such a nice guy.
That's cool. So those have done really well for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why. I wish I knew, but
for me, it has to be. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Mark.
It has to be my interviews and also that pickup line video.
Yeah. Was really funny.
Everybody loved all of you guys just being silly, but yeah, those seem to be the favorite.
Anyone else?
Well,
True
I
stories.
was just looking at mine, and of course, my Mega Collab Part 1 got the most views, which are 319, so it's not a lot for you guys, but for me it is. Mostly because Dr. Creepin was in it and a lot of amazing people. Then I see my first and only live stream, which was a Q&A for my 300 subs. And then Annie96 is typing, which turned out really great thanks to Detective Creeps who joined me. And
Yeah, Creeps.
then all the other ones. Yeah.
Which he was on the last live stream here, a good guy, awesome guy. He got to hear me really drunk, and I think I cried in front of him. But I do that sometimes when I drink a lot. I get emotional.
Everybody go subscribe to Detective Creeps. He's very underrated. He's very good.
He is, and he's
Yes,
just a good guy in general. And he only.
Can I also drop a few names of underrated people?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if
I
anyone,
can,
we can get him on future live streams and stuff like that, so they can get a chance to be seen.
Okay, so Todd McKenzie, Lily C Nation, Devin Sevin, Samonic Stories, Sooth Siren is already here. Well, Mother CreepyPasta, I think most people already know about her. Well, of course, Penny Dreadful Moment, Spooky Stories for You, Lance's Creepy Reading. I'm so sure I'm forgetting someone, but these are one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many great.
Don't forget about Meat Locker and Nico.
Yeah, Meat Locker. Well, Meat Locker was on last live stream on my last live stream last week. So I made sure because him and I get along great, and he's my little meaty.
Yeah,
he adds the meat to my sauce.
Yeah, ML's pretty legit.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you I was probably forgetting someone. Yes, exactly. Meat Locker, Nico Wonderdust. Yeah, all of them.
Nico is actually I said
people.
I'll get all these guys in eventually. And GL, send me a link to these all of them. Hopefully I'm friends with all of them, but if I'm not, then I'll friend them and we'll get I'll get a topic going for them to get in here, so we can all get a next week's podcast or a future live stream here with them in as well. And
what about Siren? What was your top video on your channel?
My top video was the consequence of stealing a stranger's smartphone, which was this story that someone actually sent me, and was the first story I ever got. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting. Is this true? And they were like telling everybody that it was, but it wasn't. They told me the truth.
Yeah, I actually got that story too.
Yeah,
and I was gonna do a video on it, but then I noticed you did it, so I was like, nah, it's fine.
So I appreciate you, even though it would have been totally fine.
Not to put anybody on blast, but that was actually the story that was sent to 10 different narrators at the same time and told it was exclusive.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No,
I didn't know about that. That's
explained
funny.
themselves to me too. They I don't know. It wasn't the person that sent me the story. It was someone else. Sent me an email explaining what happened, and I was like, oh, that's okay. I was like, I'll keep it in my inventory, you know.
Right.
I got really excited and narrated it that day.
Yeah.
I'd never gotten an email before, so I was like, oh, cool.
I was gonna do a technology themed video, and I was gonna put that in it, but then that just took too long. I never got around to it.
Nice.
And I was
What
like,
about
nah,
you,
you
White
already did it.
Rabbit?
My best video is actually something I uploaded before I was anybody. It's the Tom and Jerry Lost episode, because back in the day, that's the only kind of stories I could get any attention on was Lost episodes.
Is that are they horror?
I
Is that
love
horror?
those.
Yeah,
seen 'em.
it's creepypasta-esque. I
it's
found a creepy tape of this
It's
child's cartoon, and it's
Oh.
all
The
messed
Mickey
up.
Mouse one
It's
is so
like
weird.
it's like my Disney white noise.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is that the one where Tom supposedly almost tried to kill himself on the railroad track?
Oh no, this was I guess it's called Tom's Basement or something, where the owner was very abusive to him, and then Jerry kills the owner and then kills Tom in the end.
I like it.
Wow.
Classic Lost episode affair.
Sounds like an apocalyptic situation where you have to eat your cat and mouse.
Oh yeah. Exactly. But I mean, it didn't do anything for subscribers or popularity on my channel or anything. I think the quickest views I got was probably for Baraska, which I'm very happy about because that killed me for a month recording that 2.5 hour long video.
Oh
I
my
bet.
God.
I'm actually
Oh, wow.
I'm actually going to tackle Baraska, but I'm gonna do it in a more I'm not gonna read it solo because I'll be damned if I do that.
Good luck.
But I'm going to enlist the help of other people to come in and do the voices for some of those characters because it's gonna be really hard. Plus, I want like when I do big projects like that, like big undertakings like that, that's my chance to showcase other voices. Like that's my chance to go, hey, I want you to come into the story so I can get you some
Attention.
exposure.
And I like
I totally understand. And
I love to do the same thing.
If I went back and did it again, I totally would do that. It's just I just suddenly decided to do it 3 weeks before my release date because I'm stupid like that. So I was like, I don't have time to find anybody for this. So, but the Baraska V, which is I guess a sequel of some kind, I'm definitely gonna need help with.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the prison?
I don't know. I haven't heard it yet. I just know it's by the same author and it's an hour longer. So I'm not doing that alone.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay,
It's also so daunting to think about
Baraska's-
recording.
Yeah, Baraska is just such a big challenge, and it's such a classic. I'm just like, I can't do that by myself. I mean, I could, because I read 14 chapters of a visual novel by myself, but I mean, that's like,
it's different.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was just editing it, thinking, I'm so fucking sick of my voice. How can people listen to me all day long like this?
People do. That's the thing. People do.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. People are always like, "Oh, you have a nice voice," and I'm like, I don't think I have a nice voice.
Well,
I'm just trying
that's
this
another
out.
great thing about doing this is like I was really self-conscious about my voice when I started doing this, and just all the comments I get about, they love listening to me all day long has boosted my confidence, and it's a really great esteem booster.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when I did No End House 2, when I was editing that, I wanted to gouge my eyes out by listening to Eden over and over and over and over for 4 days. 4 days of listening to Eden. You don't even know. But you know what? But by the end of it, I'll listen to that whole video over again and watch the whole thing over again because it's that entertaining in my eyes. Like, I'll listen to her. Once the whole thing is completed, I think it's really entertaining, and I think even listening to Eden is really entertaining. That whole story is really entertaining, and the way it's delivered. So, and that's my goal. Is like I will gouge my eyes out listening to Eden say the same 3 sentences 10 times over as I'm repeating it in editing. And I was telling her that as I'm like editing it, I'm like, Eden, and I'm messing her on Twitter. I'm like, I want to kill myself right now.
Oh yeah. I'm like, why? He goes, I've listened to your voice so much in my head for the last 4 days. I'm like,
your voice is ingrained in me. I can say the whole No End House 2 story verbatim right now. Like I don't even need to read it. 38 minutes right now. I can go. Don't even need it. I could tell it in front of you in an audience.
Oh yeah, you're definitely in a more homicidal mindset when you're editing. I'm like, I have to live with my voice, so I was like, I can't even get away from it when I'm done editing. just gonna go silent for a week.
Audio is my least favorite thing to do. Like I like making the video and putting the video together, but I hate editing.
Oh yeah,
audio,
I'm the same way. I'm like, I just want to be the talent. Can I just record and walk away?
I'm so impatient.
Especially if I had trouble with a story and I messed up a lot, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go through this.
Yeah.
Hear me like yelling, God, why can't I just say this?
You're like, this will take 10 minutes to edit, and then an hour later, you're like, come on.
You're like,
I never go into a video going, oh, this will take me no time to edit at all. Like, no, I just got done finishing like 14 minutes of recording. I was recording the story that took 14 minutes, and I'm sitting there editing, and like, here's 30 minutes later, I'm still cutting out the shit. Like, oh
yeah.
It's because like I'm a perfectionist, and I think Eden is too to a degree in regards to
it's the clicking mouth noises. They're everywhere.
We were talking about earlier, the mouth sounds.
I learned. So that really bothered me when I first started this, and I first started doing storytelling when on my other channel. I experimented with it, and it was my most popular videos. And I was like, wow, something it told me something. Like people must really like this, And I tried, I was listening to others, and I'm like, how do people sound so clean? And so I actually took one video and I edited it out I cut all my mouth sounds out of the video. It took forever. And
It takes a very long time.
like, it was like an 18-minute video, and it took an insanely amount of time to take all the little spit sounds and all the breaths.
Hours.
And know what happened at the end of it? It's still on the internet to this day if you know where it's at, but I'm not going to tell you. And people in the chat who know my other channel, you don't say anything. And but it sounds incredible, like I'm talking really, really fast. And they're like, "Why are you talking so fast?" I'm like, "I don't know. I didn't really talk that fast. I just took away all the mouth sounds."
I usually do like a general noise reduction, and then whatever's left I'll take out, which usually doesn't take anything to make it closer together or anything like that.
Yeah, that works fine too.
I take like when I'm really getting into a rhythm, I get into a rhythm when I read, especially when it takes on a certain character. Any of you guys who like listen to my stuff or worked with me before, you know that I take breaths. Like I take a breath, like a huge breath, and then they're like, "Oh my god, how did you thing in one breath?" I'm like, "Because I took this big old long breath at the beginning that you didn't hear, because I cut it out." And it's really funny. Yeah, I cut
have
out
a hard
my breath
time with this
sounds.
breathing thing.
Don't worry
you gotta
about the
manage it
breaths.
somehow.
I don't personally worry about the breaths. I think they make you sound more natural. Especially
It makes me sound like I'm like overweight and I just ran 16 miles.
Guys, and then there was something up the stairs.
Yeah, no, it
does. I'm like
16 flights up.
Well, I mean, I think
Celestial
my problem
Nor.
is that I'm pregnant, so I don't know. This baby could just be hitting my lungs. I'm like, you want to narrate? Tough crap.
No, it's great though, because like I normally leave most of my breath sounds in, the subtle ones, like that. Those I leave in, but the ones where I'm like, I read ahead and I go, "Oh my god, I have so much shit I have to say in the next 30 seconds." It's like 30 seconds is a long time, guys, in narration world. Just saying. It's a long paragraph.
Like
it's a long paragraph. Yeah, and it's just like I have to take a big breath and go like that, and then I just go and just get it out.
Put my mouth away from the microphone so I can breathe in.
Yeah, I always stop and like turn away and go, and then I come back.
I remember when I first started narrating and I was still doing using the iPhone, I would actually go through every single little pause and I would generate silence every single little pause to be forever.
I used to do that, but then it sounded like I used to do that but not remove background noise, and I wound up not uploading any of my audio like that because you could hear like the normal background noise and like or like that's the like kind of hum kind of going on.
You want a noise gate,
and then
you
it would just be like
on.
silence.
Yeah.
And then it would be like
a noise.
It would be terrible.
You put a noise gate will fix that. You put a noise gate filter.
Yeah.
And basically what it does, it's literally, imagine like a barn gate or barn door that opens for once you reach a certain decibel in your sound, the door opens and allows that sound in. But once you drops below a certain level, that barn door closes and shuts off all sound. So
is that something you put on your mic, or is that something you can do in like Audacity?
That's something you do when you record. Like I record all my stuff through OBS, and because I can put the filter on in there, and that's how but basically, so when I talk, so as I'm talking right now, you can hear me talk, but the moment I stop, perfectly quiet, because I have a noise gate filter on. And so that way it doesn't pick up any background sound. Now, if you have a heater or something going on, that can be an issue because it's going to pick up as you're talking. Yes, fish tanks.
Yeah, that's a major issue in my home.
I have
so huge. Want to just
Yeah, and so like for me when I record, I actually have to build a fort. I build a blanket fort.
It's really funny. He'll be like, "Eden, I'm smothering in this blanket. Let's go." And I'm just like, "Bitch, I didn't tell you to bury yourself in no blanket."
Yeah, I have my little foam cube I'm using right now, but that doesn't always work all the time. It doesn't work when I get loud. Like right now I'm talking soft, so I don't have much reverb. But I have a blanket next to me and I'll throw that over the monitor. I'll throw that over me, and I'm in this little fort with the monitor and stuff, and I'm looking over my little foam cube at the words of the story, and I'm scrolling through it as I'm talking and giving the story. And so it's entertaining. Like if someone was here, they would probably laugh their ass off at me. But that's
I go in a closet. I mean, it's been kind of better in the closet as far as sound quality goes, as far as noises that are being around. They're still in the closet. The noises followed me in the closet. I don't know what to do.
I said the blanket over you is probably one of the best ways to do it.
I build a box of foam.
Yeah,
I don't have any of those.
I gotta get my own space because that's would really help me. Because all this like stuff, my mom would be like, "Get it out of my. What is this in my house? Are you kidding me? Why you have this junk around?
This junk.
Why are you putting foam stuff in my closet? Excuse me." Because her closet's so much bigger, so when she's at work, I'll go in her closet, and I'm like, "What up?"
Yeah, I mean, you could create your own. You could create this own weird studio it's like something out of a post-apocalypse studio you got going on with I have this rug.
She thinks I'm crazy.
I have a rug here, and it's a gigantic rug. It's like an 11-foot by 8-foot rug, and I'm moving soon. That's why I have to deal with reverb all the time because the house is empty. Yeah. So, but the place I'm going to, it's a smaller room. Where my studio is going to be is a smaller room, and so my idea is to take this gigantic rug and screw it into the wall and so it covers up the whole wall so it absorbs all that sound. And I mean, you could come up with crazy ideas like that as long as no one minds you screwing stuff in the walls.
I mean, I have my own little office back here in the back of the house, and there's curtains everywhere. There's curtains over the windows.
Yeah, and they have those sound curtains that they sell too.
Yeah,
sound reducing curtains.
Mm-hmm.
But
I can't wait till I get my own place. I'm gonna have a nice thing going on. But I live in New York. It's very expensive. You can't even get a studio for less than $1,200.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's a little rough.
And that's why I'm in Arizona, everybody.
Hey, I'm close to you.
Mississippi.
And that's no utilities. You get nothing. You get a dirty room, and it costs you $1,200.
Come move to Massachusetts.
But I'm in El Paso, Texas. But not for long. But anyway, so can you continue? It's about an hour. We're a little over 2 hours in now. And I know, right? I know with that
We
flow.
still haven't even. I know when you're having fun, time flies.
I know it's actually been great, and you guys just I barely have done any talk. Eden's the new host. I'm just gonna sit here.
Yeah, right.
But to keep things moving on here and make sure that we don't go get too late especially for GL since it's about 4:30 in the morning there.
Yeah.
Why don't
exactly 4:30 a.m.
Why don't we get into our short stories here and let the viewers hear some of these stories here, and then afterwards, once we finish with that, we'll do some Q&As with the viewers, and anything you guys want to ask, we'll answer.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right, so let me change the music from this nice, relaxing, fancy restaurant music. Some classical guitar going on here. It's a little bit more
something horrifying.
A little bit more ominous, a little bit something to get you on edge.
He's got his radio voice on now. Jesus.
You like the radio voice. You like it a lot, don't you? Yeah.
Talk to me, Daddy.
I wish I could be like Corpse Daddy. I try, but I'm not. Corpse Daddy. It's not Corpse. That's gonna be Corpse Husband's new name, Corpse Daddy.
Corpse Daddy. Yeah.
Give it to me, Corpse Daddy.
That's how the ship
like
happened.
Corpse moan. He's like, I'm not gonna moan.
No,
it's just moan.
Everyone go on Twitter and let Corpse Husband know that his new name's Corpse Daddy. Just go at Corpse Husband.
I think he's actually called himself Corpse Daddy or
Daddy.
Papa Corpse Daddy. It's like Papa Midnight.
No, but that's how the ships start. That's another thing I have a problem with being one of the higher up female narrators is I get shipped with everybody.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the guys get shipped with the guys, but the girls, my God.
When are they gonna ship me and Eden together?
All right. Right?
I called dibs on that.
Go for
That's right.
Kinda got some blood.
It's true. Lady White Rabbit was the first one in this group, so she's got dibs.
I was her first.
She was my first. Ooh.
It's okay.
My
I like
first
sloppy
lady.
seconds.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm down with that.
Wanna know something funny? I'm actually wearing right now a Kurt Army t-shirt as my PJs.
Oh,
Right
yeah,
now.
that's what she told me earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I told you earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So you...
I always hope that. Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead. I just whenever you're ready.
I
Whenever-
just wanted to say I always hope that when I use Kurtz's t-shirt as my PJs, I'm gonna have like these crazy, fantastic nightmares.
GL's a huge corpse fanatic.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I like fangirling over 9,000.
I said I laugh because if you can ever get GL to meet Corpse, I would love to see the reaction of GL. She would probably, like be like a roller coaster inside her body, trying to hold it in.
Yeah, because I know he would hate for me to treat him like a celeb or freak out, etc. So I would try my best to act cool, but inside I would be, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
I think you forget to breathe or something.
Honestly, I don't get excited because people are people. That's all they are, and especially like
and
my
everyone else, yes, but him, I don't know. He's just like one step above. I just like his voice so much. He truly is like a celeb to me. So yeah, but I would love to not. Of course, I would love to collab with him. But if I had to choose, either collab with him once and then never talk to him again, or get to become his friend and nobody knows about it, I would rather become his friend, because he seems like such a nice guy, and I would love to just be his friend and get to talk to him.
I'm sure he's always looking for a free place to stay in Switzerland. Anyway, that's so let's get into these short stories, shall we? And
yes.
Why shall we? Shall we? Gothic Librarian is going to go first. She's already let me know that she wants to go first, and so
yeah, she needs to go to bed. Like, she needs to go first and then go to sleep.
And so
well, I didn't ask first because
you did ask first on Twitter.
No,
I pay attention to all. I have 3 monitors here. I can see all. I see everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
she did ask. It's
see-
true.
3 monitors.
I second
do.
this.
No,
I
I said if we do read stories, could I be one of the first ones, not the first?
Now you're
one.
the first.
No, you get to be first.
One of the first
Tag.
ones.
Okay, you
Just
get put in the
because
front of the
the
line.
time.
Do you feel comfortable being first, or do you want to let someone else go? Or
Well,
it's up to you.
of course, I'm always nervous because I'm a small fry amongst all these gorgeous ladies, but yes, I can do it, no problem. Like I said,
It's no
didn't
issues if you
plan
want to
it.
break. If you want to just
No,
kind of
no.
get into it.
Um,
I can
it's
go
okay.
first.
Whatever you prefer, you tell me. I can wait another 10-20 minutes. It's no big deal. I mean, it's almost 5 a.m. as it is, so it's not like 20 minutes are.
Where's
I
our
don't
music?
think I want to.
Okay.
I have
Do
no problem.
you have a story ready, GL? GL, Gothic Librarian. Do you have a story ready?
Sorry. Yes. I picked up a short story that I recently recorded but not yet uploaded from Reddit.
Okay.
So I could go with that one.
Alrighty, and I will switch the music here. So
Okay.
it's not relaxing jazz music that y'all love to hear.
Give it to me.
And luckily this is a 3.5 hour soundtrack, so I'm just gonna pause that bit. And I'm gonna try to mix this. Use my DJ skills. I used to DJ as a hobby in Germany, and have a mixer board and everything. It's awesome. It's cool. But actually, I DJed in Afghanistan, which was a weird place to do it. But
Wait, what? You DJ'd in Germany?
in Afghanistan, 2 Germans.
Oh, okay, okay.
A little bit, and I get asked a couple times in Germany. So.
Do you speak any German?
My Deutsch ist scheiße.
Ja, ich spreche nur ein bisschen Deutsch.
It's definitely not German Swiss, but I know about 1,000 words. I can survive in the economy.
I don't know Swiss German anymore. As well.
Ich heiße sie, or ich heiße CreepyPastaDish. Wie heißen sie?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a boy in here.
Wie heißt? Ja. Ich heiße.
Oh.
Okay.
CreepyPastaDish. Yeah.
And for those in the stream, I will post what playlist I am playing right now. It's going to be in the Narrators library.
Ooh,
and I will post it in everyone else in the chat will be able to hear it.
I'm telling.
Because I try to get Coag. Coag music is the music in the background. That's he's got some good ambient music, and I like it. And he's only got about 7,000 subscribers, so I just kind of want to get him.
He's so good.
Yeah,
I
kind of
use
want.
him all the time.
Yeah, I kind of want to get him well known and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, and what I really like is that every time I use her, I don't know, music, they always comment on my videos, like saying, "Oh, so glad you used my music," etc. That's really, really nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
Him, I don't know, I don't know. I always imagine being like at least a couple or something, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever you're ready, and we'll get started here. The music's going, and this first song's about to be over, which is not really a song. It's more just like people screaming. But I'll be quiet here. The second song is starting just now. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so like I said previously, this is a story from Reddit Short Scary Stories. I already recorded it but never uploaded, so I hope I can read it without like messing up every other word. And it's called Mom, Dad, I'm Adopted. Maybe you've already heard it from someone else. And I'll just get into it. Mom, Dad, I'm adopted. My parents ceased their activities. My mother, adorned in a pearl necklace and earrings to match, stood upright. Upon both hands, she wore oven mitts and a matching apron. Her teal sundress really did bring out her blue inner eyes. She closed the oven and removed the mitts, revealing perfectly manicured nails. My father set his pipe on the end table and closed his book. His hair, just a touch of grey, was immaculate as ever. He wore a plaid shirt and a soft tan cardigan. He removed his reading glasses to look me in the face. Almost in unison, they asked, "Why, dear? What makes you say that, son?" Before them, I stood, pressed khaki pants, tucked in button-down shirt, and my matching belt and shoes. I felt both at one with and detached from the people before me. I just know. I tried to sound confident, but at the time, my confidence was lost to pubescence. Don't be ridiculous. My father stood in the light of our perfectly lit kitchen. He placed his hands on my shoulders and looked me in the eyes. You're our boy, and we love you. He studied the lines of his face, seeking, no, pleading for a lie, but there was none. Sit, dear, my mother interjected, opening the stove. Dinner is nearly ready. I sat at our polished wooden table and placed my napkin in my lap, an old habit from etiquette school. I felt my eyes moisten. Are you sure? I was able to ask, staring at the blank place on the table where my food would soon be. My mother placed prepared plates before my father and I. He said a brief grace for the table and began eating his roast and potatoes my mother had so delicately prepared. Positive, he said, savoring his bite and wiping his lip. Mother sat last with her plate on the other side of the table to my left and took my hand. You're our baby, she said, looking me in the eye and assuring me I was her offspring. Now, let's talk about something else. You haven't said hello to our guest. My eyes and face were wet and red. I stared across the table. The woman before me was tied to her chair. Ropes ran from her throat to her feet, keeping her from any free movement. Across her mouth was tightly wound duct tape, and her head was slumped forward. The only appendage not tied down was her right arm. It was not a kindness extended, but rather unneeded. Her right arm was severed below the shoulder. Blood was still actively pouring from the poor bandaging and soaking her side deep red. Her eyes had rolled back into her head in a loss of consciousness from the extreme pain she had just endured. My parents shared a laugh over it being seasoned so well. I took all this in again and cried out in a whisper, please, tell me I'm adopted. The end.
Yay!
That was really good.
Thank you.
Very good.
That was really good.
Very good.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I said, you're on your phone, right? Right now, Gothic?
No, I'm actually on my laptop.
Oh, you're on your laptop.
So, yeah. So if the mic is a little bit
Yeah,
echoing,
no, that's fine. I mean, it's you're working with what you have, so that's nothing in regards to that. So
yeah.
But
I usually record with my phone, but for live stream, etc., I'm a lot more. I know more what I'm doing when I'm on my laptop, so that's what I'm using.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
It said it's no worries at all there. But excellent reading. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
And I enjoyed it very much.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I want some Swiss chocolate. I want chocolate. Everyone says they're digging the accent, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Funny thing, when I started, I was sure that the only comments I would have gotten would be like, you don't even speak English as your first language. What the fuck are you trying to do here? Get off YouTube, etc. And instead I started seeing like, oh wow, I love your accent, it's so different, it sets you apart and all these things. And I was like, oh, dang it. I thought it was going to be something that would have worked against me, and instead I didn't know it, but it was actually one of my strong suit, so to say. So I'm really glad people like my accent.
Yeah, that's why I tell people, don't ever worry about what you sound like, just do it. People like decide for themselves whether they like you or not.
Yeah, everybody's saying that your accent's hot, so I mean.
Yeah, so hot.
Wow.
So hot. Love it.
Yeah, like Eden said, I started thinking no one will like me, but I don't care. I want to do it because I like to. People will tell me, shut up, you suck, and then I'll stop. And that is honestly what I thought was going to happen. So imagine my surprise when they didn't even say your accent is terrible. They said, oh, your accent is sexy, your accent is so different, etc. And I was like, what? So yeah, that was a complete surprise to me. I was so not expecting that. So wow. Thank you everyone so much. Thank you.
Of course. So I say, I tell people all the time, just don't worry about, because I get messages from people asking me all the time, like, what do you, what should I do about narrating? What's your advice? And I'm just like, just do stories that you like, that you're comfortable with doing, and just do it how you feel it comes natural to you. Don't worry about imitating somebody else.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I started thinking no one would like me anyway, so I just better get at it and have fun with it. And little did I know people did like it. Go figure. But yes, I started because I enjoy doing it. Never thought people would actually like it, but so glad about that.
Awesome. Oh, I'm having a lag issue again, so give me a second here and I will get this fixed before I get to the next story started. That way whoever gives it doesn't get interrupted by my own faults of my own. So if there's an interruption in the stream, I'm sorry. Just refresh as I am changing channels on my router. And I think it has something to do with an interference issue with other routers in the neighborhood. And I don't know, I have to do this all the time. But I can tell because my ping on my Discord goes to like 350. It gets pretty bad.
Ew.
Ew, so much ew. Alright, it's back down to 33, so everything should be good. 29. Awesome, so it should be good now. That's usually all it takes.
Alright, who's next? Who's next?
Who wants to go next? Anyone? Anyone at all?
I guess I will, if no one is jumping the gun here.
Yeah, I usually try to let people go before me. Because I already have stories ready, but I literally
Let me pull up
let
my
people go
story.
before me. So.
Okay. This is It's Not the Dark You Should Be Afraid of. It's from Reddit No Sleep, and it's by Firefly Me Tooth. Can't pronounce that. Moon. Sorry. Off to a good start. Can't pronounce the name of the author.
Get a better name.
Darn.
Alright, let me turn you up here so you kind of take over the voices. Alright, you're good to go.
Thank you. I am not scared of the dark. There's nothing under my bed. There's nothing in the closet. Dad checked it when he came in. He checked before he put me to bed. I am not scared of the dark. There was no creak. There was no sound. You just have to remind yourself of these things sometimes. Our minds like to trick us, sort of like brothers like to trick us. Dad told me so. I am not scared of the dark. There's no reason to be. It's not a scary place. It's just the same room with no light letting me see it, but everything is still the same. I know that. I'm in the same bed, and the same things are in my room. Creepies and ghosties aren't made by the dark. They just don't appear. So, we have nothing to be afraid of. Dad told me so. The sound I hear, the sound from the end of the room is my imagination playing like my brother. He's such a clown. I never really think his jokes are funny. He always laughs, though. My brother laughed a lot, just like my teddy bear. He always looks like he's laughing, that grin across his face. The window lets a little light, but I don't need it. The dark isn't scary. The moon, it casts a soft white light onto the edge of my bed. It cuts into the dark like my nightlight used to, but I'm a big girl now, and I don't need nightlights. I get up close to the curtains and hide in the moon. I close my eyes and try to go away, try to dream of a place outside of my room. The closet creaks. I am not scared of the dark. There is nothing in my closet. Dad checked it when he came in. He checked it before he tucked me, just like he did under the bed. Kitty is downstairs. That sound? I'm hearing Kitty. Dad always said if I didn't know what sound was, that it was Kitty. You can always count on that. I snuggled in and wished I had Kitty. At least I had Teddy. His laughing face was on and his beady eyes smushed into the side of my face. The closet went creak again. If there was a light there, I would be able to see that there was nothing in there. There wasn't any light, though. I made sure of that. Big girls had to sleep in the dark. It was just the dark and me, and Kitty, of course, which wasn't all bad. I am not scared of the dark, of course. Kitty moved again. Dad says he puts him downstairs, but I'm sure he hides in the closet to surprise me. I think I heard the door open, but the dark is hiding it. I am not scared of the dark, though. There's nothing to be afraid of. There was nothing there in the light, and the dark is no different. I'm definitely not scared of Kitty. He's nice. I can feel him on my bed now, like he normally does. He goes and sits by my feet every night, curling up in a little kitty ball protecting me from the dark. I feel better with him there. It reminds me that I had nothing to worry about in the closet. It was only Kitty. Dad is such a trickster. I am not scared of the dark. There is nothing but Kitty on the end of my bed and nothing under it. I try again to sleep. It's easier this time without the moon because I am not scared of the dark. I hear Kitty scratch at the door. I feel Kitty on the edge of my bed curled up. I guess Dad wasn't trying to surprise me, though every night I hope he is. Kitty was outside like he always was. Dad's such a dummy. He thinks I'm scared of the dark. But I sleep fine in the dark. I'm a lot more scared of what would happen if I turned on the light. The end.
I liked it.
So let me get something straight. Was that character afraid of the dark?
I don't think so.
No.
Hello. Hello. Am I good? Hello? Am I good? Am I good? What's up, people? How are you? Alright. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's fun.
Fucking no one could hear me because I had my mute mic, my mic muted, mute mic, and on stream. You guys can hear me, but they couldn't hear me. Quiet, Eden.
What? I didn't say anything.
You did a
I said I didn't go at
Basically
you.
the same thing.
It's not the same damn thing, damn it.
Stereotyping over here.
I know, right? Fuck.
I grew up with 2 older sisters. I know the subtle signs.
I grew up with boys. I know.
Likely story. I know the likely
story.
Likely
likely story.
Sassy Eden. Hashtag Sassy Eden. Picklover says. Exactly.
Right. Sassy Eden.
Sassy Eden.
Forever the sass.
Black-eyed, great
play no
job, by the
games.
way. And
Thank you.
I know, that was
enjoyed
good.
it.
I like that story.
I'm surprised I didn't really mess up. See,
Is
that's
it-
what it is.
I told
like,
you
I
live
wasn't-
reading.
Was that your first
I
live
wasn't
reading?
like ancient. No, I've done a few live readings on Swamp Dweller's channel a couple of times.
Pit lover. Hashtag joke pasta. Oh, I'm sorry. That.
For me, it was. It was my first live reading.
Yeah, GL, that's your
Good
first.
job, girl.
Yeah, good job, and especially at 5 in the morning.
Thank you. At 5 in the morning and in my fourth language.
Yes. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Thank you.
All
Alright,
right,
who's next? I'm all excited.
the creepy
Is
music's
anyone else
going.
gonna go?
If is there any other volunteers?
I can go.
Creepy Streety in the house.
I got a fan base.
Gotta keep them entertained. All right, so where are you at? There you are. So let me turn you up. Go and talk a little bit.
Hello.
A little bit more.
This is a story.
That is a fact. That is a story. All right,
Just give me the facts.
Yep. All right, so you are good to go. And
All right, so this is something I've already done on my channel, but it's a classic, in my opinion.
All right, new song started. You are go.
Both my parents were surgeons, and I used to talk to furniture. I grew up in an area where properties were so large and the families are so wealthy that they built mansions and walls enclosing themselves in their own private paradises, never interacting with their neighbors unless some strange coincidence. Homeschooled until the age of 7, which is where this story ends. But first, it begins at age 4, when I can first remember what my childhood was like. As a young boy, I thought that staying isolated in my family's property was just what little boys did. However, whenever my parents would go out, I'd ask to join them, but they'd shake. Adults left the home, and only in very, very dire emergencies. Aside from this, I never wanted toys or activities, and developed what my parents described as a wild imagination. I began creating relationships with our household furniture, spending days conversing with them and naming each and every one. My parents, seeming to indulge my imagination more and more, increased the amount of furniture in the house dramatically. My father had always considered himself somewhat of a handyman and often explained to me his love for constructing things and how he handcrafted certain pieces. And so 3 years ensued of deep emotional relationships I developed to move up and mind on him reading my books. Sophia was my bed that shifted ever so slightly. Sleep. Sometimes I could even hear her humming softly. When I'd lit on the table in my room, Claudio, I could hear palpitation and rhythm with my heart spoke with Theodore, or a rather small chair that responds to me, making humming noise vibrations even when unprompted. But above all, I loved Gladys. couch in the home. My breath. All of the furniture felt so soft, so alive to me. It's strange. Things can change. It was Monday, my 7th birthday, and my parents were in their workshop constructing new pieces of furniture for my present. A woman had through the town, and although our gates were sealed shut, she had to push her way through. She knocked on the door lightly, and I jumped. Someone approaching. Expression changed to horror. She sniffed the air and gagged. She began to run. Tomorrow, I turned 27, and I've been rolling around in my mind if I should sit in the gallery while my parents are executed. The headlines had labeled them worse than Karl Brand. Reared 106 people by my 7th birthday. They were never branded murderers, but it was much worse than 167 people to make 71 pieces of furniture. That's 664 limbs reassembled in formation no mind should conjure. Sometimes people think I'm a Buddhist because the furniture and apartment surgeons used to talk to furniture. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Oh, no.
She's in Arizona.
Arizona.
Oh. Tough. Tough.
Hello. See you now. But, God.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Detective. Appreciate that. I changed servers for the US from US Central to US West servers, so Lady White Rabbit can get a better signal. Hopefully.
Nice.
I don't know if it's that or if it's something on your end, but you keep cutting out, and when you talk for longer than a few seconds, you have this cut in. It was really hard for people to hear you. That's all, because it wasn't coming in through to me really well. And since I'm in
kept going out, it might just be my crappy.
It could be. It could be. You know, that classic Arizona connection. Detective Creeps is in Arizona too, by the way.
Oh, nice.
You go hang out.
For what it's worth, Lady White Rabbit, I love your voice so much that you could literally just read the phone book or your grocery list, and I would just listen to that. Seriously.
Oh, thank you. That'll be my next video. I'll
You're
just read
very
from the
welcome.
phone book for a while.
Mice Magic says.
I would love that.
Mice Magic says, if need be, open your task manager, White Rabbit, and right-click Discord and go to process and set it to high, and it'll give it dedication over everything else.
Okay, let me see here. Whoa. I've got like 3 of them running for some.
You got 3 Discords running? Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, let's see. That might just be the way because sometimes they're bootstraps, they're called, or background, they run in the background.
Okay, I'll just make them high priority.
I only have 1 Discord running, so yeah, I don't know what's going on over there for you.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Well, I set 1 priority and it changed another one, so they're all high now.
They're all high?
Yeah.
You sound clear right now.
Oh, do I? Nice.
I think so. It's hard to tell. It's because it only happens when you actually say more than like one sentence. So
sweet. So I'll start reading the phone book.
You sound good. You sound good right now, though. You do sound good right now. So I think that might work. That might have worked. So
I'd be down for that.
get prior to the one that's taking up the highest CPU usage. We're all high too, if you know what I mean. Giggity, giggity.
High five.
Well, I remember listening to that video on your channel.
Yeah, that's one on her channel. So if anything, go check it out on her channel, and it's for the nice, perfect, beautiful, clear version with all the sound just right.
What's the name of that story again?
My parents are surgeons, and I used to doctor furniture.
I'll post it. I'll post it here.
Alright.
I'll post it here.
That's so fun. I really am gonna go listen to that again because it sounded really
Yeah, that title alone.
really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what caught my attention when I first read it. And I was like, I've got to read this. And again, that was one of my stories before I was even known. So eventually I'm probably just going to do like a compilation reboot of a lot of my old stuff. And that'll definitely be on
Hope
it.
to do that one day as well.
Yeah.
I think we all aspire to do that one day.
Yeah.
I think I should have been done like a reboot on my channel already. I'm just too fucking lazy. I just don't have enough time in the day anymore. It's enough for me to just get stories out when I do.
The struggle is real.
I know. I hate it all.
I actually have one story that I did when I first started doing narrations, and it's one of my absolute favorite stories. And there was a week where I was really cutting it close with getting something to go out, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just upload that and it'll be fine. I listened to it and I was like, I can't. I was like, I have to redo it. I can do so much better than that now. That was like, I guess I read it. Came out to like about 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It probably should be longer than 40 minutes. I read kind of fast. So I was like, no, I can't do it. It's such a good story. I have to do it better justice than that.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever. I know one thing though. I don't think I'll 733. I think that will always just stay right where it is. If I touch it, I feel like I'll be tainting it somehow. Because it's one of my
You'll
best
be, like,
videos.
nervous because you don't want to mess it up.
Well, yeah, and not to mention that like my reaction won't be the same because I know how the story ends. I know what I know what the creature was in the story. Whereas when I first read it, the genuine fear came across because I didn't know what I was reading.
Oh.
So
I always read my stories a few times before I narrate them.
Mm-hmm.
I find I mess up a lot less, and then I kind of know like, oh, okay, this is how this person was feeling. Like I have to kind of put that kind of emotion here and there.
Yeah.
But then like the genuine reactions are like good too. It's hard. It's just like it takes me a lot longer to edit because I find that I stumble over my words a lot more.
Right.
Rock in a hard place.
Oh yeah.
You can't win for losing. Bless you.
Thank you.
So who's next?
Who's next?
Who's next?
Already next.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
I'll be okay.
You'll be nervous.
Who's reading?
Margbot.
Margbot.
Yes.
Marg.
I'm bot.
Marg
Okay.
of the bot and the butt of the Marg.
Take a deep breath. Oh,
I like
I
that.
turned you up a little too loud. I blow my eardrums out.
Okay, so the story is called Donation. As she lay on the cold surgeon's table, while a bright light blinded her, she saw again in her memory how blood dripped from her hands not long ago. Out of the corner of her eye, she caught a glint of something sparkling upon the floor. Her attention now shifted to the shine on the floor between the tears that were freely flowing from her gray eyes. The shape took form. A kitchen knife with a barely visible black handle was tainted with the same substance that now covered her hands. There was so much of it, copious amounts of blood. Surprise crept into her face. This was too much blood. Had she injured herself? Lying next to her was the body of her beloved Lucy. Her usually pale complexion had been robbed of the slight pink tinge that usually kept her from being blindingly white. Life had gone from her. Never again would she see her coffee brown eyes light up in the sun. How could one so fair be consumed by death so quickly? Just as that thought crossed her mind, the rage flooded her. Yes, that's how death had taken over. She'd come home to find Lucy with another. Blushed, coral lipstick smothered all about her face. That was enough. Like a flash of lightning, it all came together like a puzzle. Her duty was to end her. The knife carved so smoothly in her flesh. With every insertion, the satisfaction rose. No consequence could taint the fulfillment she felt murdering the whore. In her deranged state, she had forgotten that there had been another occupant in the room, the one that was to blame for all of this, the one that had tarnished her Lucy and driven her to force her from this world. The sound of sirens blared in the background, and from then on it was a blur. At some point they had thrown her into a cell. Her mind had become lost between the longing of her beloved, thinking why hadn't she come to see her, and the exhilarating memory of the ecstasy she had felt while thrusting the knife into flesh. It was all a daze. Her only clear memory after that was a silent courtroom, the sullen faces of those who had just decided her fate, and in the background, his voice declaring, "Mary Jane, you have been found guilty of second-degree murder. I am sentencing you to scheduled donation," followed by the banging of a gavel. Scheduled donation, she thought. Too bad they had done away with just killing people altogether. Mary Jane came out of the trance her memories had her in. That is how she had ended up on the cold surgeon's table. This was the first of more procedures to come. They would keep her locked up, feed her great cooking, preparing her like a lamb for slaughter. She would give back her life for the life she had taken. At least that's how the politicians sold the concept to the voters. She would donate her organs until all of her was gone. The end.
Oh my god.
Ooh, I like that.
Wow.
That was good.
Yeah.
I love when you guys just say the end.
Sorry, you guys were just
well,
quiet. I didn't know you
otherwise
could
it gets to be an
force
awkward
it.
end sounds.
No, I know, it's just funny. It's cute.
Yeah, I actually wrote that one.
You
Oh,
did?
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Girl.
Oh, you wrote it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, she wrote that
Yeah.
one. Nice.
I always say that I'm a writer before I was a narrator because I write.
Nice. That's
You're all in
awesome.
one package.
Same.
I'm always so self-conscious about my writing. There's only 2 stories on my channel that I wrote, and they're like, "We love it," and I'm like, "I don't know if I'm gonna write anymore."
The only one that's on my channel that I wrote is the Valentine's special I put out, Monsters Are Real.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't even recent. I wrote that so long ago.
Yeah.
I think I've written like 2 stories, but
Yeah, that's the one
I
I'm meaning to
re-encount what's the word I'm looking for? I've reimagined like things that people told me, like their stories, so I don't really count that as something I wrote though, you know?
Hmm. I actually did 2 stories that I wrote myself because I also like to write. I love to write, but I write in Italian, which is my main language. So these 2 stories I wrote in English for my channel, so it was a bit harder, but people really liked it, especially the second one, and that was it really felt so good that people actually liked what I wrote. So
Immunity 0. Still do. I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm gonna do a second part to that story. I would like to. I don't know if I'm going to Back Against the Wall, which is a story that I wrote and narrated on my channel. I don't know how I feel. Like I said, I'm just so lazy. It's just so lazy.
All right, so
Sooth
we got.
Siren, are you next, or is it gonna be Creep Street?
Oh, I'm not reading.
No.
This microphone is awful.
Aw, poo. Oh, she can't do it. Okay. Well, I guess that leaves me, right? Is it me? Is it me?
You and me.
Your
Okay.
turn.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go.
Okay.
This story is called The Kotar Delusion.
Ooh.
Which is by Ia, or for those of you who know him, he is famous for his unsettling stories. So prepare yourself. It's about to be a mindfuck. We were in the final stages of testing a custom drug ordered by a large investment bank in China. Its purpose was to help their traders and programmers focus and make quick, rational, and emotionally detached decisions without the cardiovascular or dependency risks associated with traditional ADHD medication. The drug was well tolerated, and the test subjects showed marked improvement on the battery of cognitive and job specific tests the bank had provided. The drug, we estimated, would be ready in a month. Our team was ecstatic. If the drug worked well for the bank, we would seek FDA approval of a slightly modified version for the general public. Our company would profit enormously. A few of my colleagues had tried the drug themselves in the latter portions of its testing phase. While such sampling was prohibited, it was impossible to prevent. They, too, had their work quality and general focus improve while under its effect. After listening to Rakesh gush endlessly about how much he'd benefited from the drug, I figured it was time to give it a shot. I was used to ADHD medication. Until about a month ago, I'd taken both Adderall and Wellbutrin to aid my own attentive issues. I only stopped because the last 15 years of daily usage had made me nearly immune to the focus-enhancing effects. I didn't want to increase the dosage and stress my heart. Since our drug used an entirely different mechanism of action, I was excited to see if I'd benefit as much as everyone else. Around 10:15 p.m., I swallowed the tiny capsule with a mouthful of water. I'd been stuck working late with Rakesh, Priya, and Gian. We were going over data from the test subjects and attempting to glean useful information for our transition to the modified FDA version of the drug. About 20 minutes after I took the pill, I felt a burst of energy. The statistics we'd been working on appeared much less daunting, and I felt like I could single-handedly accomplish the entire task. Rakesh noticed and asked if I wanted to work on the harder stuff by myself to see what the drug could do. I nodded enthusiastically, and he went to get something to eat. Priya did the same a little while later. Gian and I stared at our own respective computer screens and pored over data. As the moments went by, I began to feel unwell. The sensation wasn't physical. It was unlike the nausea and frenetic energy I would get from taking Adderall. This was vastly different. I felt like I was floating and seeing things from a vantage point overhead. I watched as I was gradually replaced by a dead man who used to be me. He was overcome by an incomprehensibly powerful thirst for blood. Blood, he knew with a certainty greater than anything in existence, was only thing that might help him return to life. I became him, and he became no one. A null consciousness dispassionately observed from above. The dead thing rose from his chair, walked over to Gian, and bit his neck directly at the carotid artery. Its teeth sank deep, and before Gian could react, an enormous mouthful of flesh was pulled away. For 10 minutes, the dead thing sucked and swallowed the gouting blood while its immense strength held Gian's shuddering body. Blood slid down the dead thing's esophageal transitway and splashed into its stomach. It couldn't recognize any sensation of fullness. The flood from Gian's throat had diminished to a trickle. The dead thing needed more. It tore Gian's neck open entirely, plunged its face into the warm chasm, and scraped its teeth over every bit of flesh it could reach. It chewed the meat to release any remaining fluid. The dead thing reached the spinal cord and howled in crushing, unfulfilled frustration. It pushed its fingers between Gian's ribs. They sank inside his chest, and the dead thing pulled the bones apart. Again, the dead thing ravenously extracted all it could. The man's legs were next, then his buttocks, back, and face. Gian's remaining blood mixed with the dead thing's saliva and dropped into its belly. The dead thing crouched in a greasy puddle of hideous gore next to the flayed skeleton of Gian. It involuntarily vomited what it had consumed. As it lapped up the wasted blood, the door opened and Rakesh walked in. Before he could see the atrocity that had taken place, the dead thing leaped at him. The leap used more strength than the ligaments in its right knee could bear, and it stumbled, grabbing onto Rakesh's leg as it fell. It bit rapidly over and over, loosening its teeth against the shine bone before maneuvering around to tear away its Achilles tendon. Rakesh's leg buckled and he fell. The dead thing attacked his belly and pushed its head into the cavity, desperately looking for a source of blood. It reached under the ribs with both hands and pushed outward. Rakesh's chest cavity burst open. The dead thing discarded the man's heart and locked its lips around the pulmonary artery and sucked. Hot blood cascaded down its throat, making no dent in its thirst. It screamed in desperation as it drank, as it had done with Jian, began to chew Rakesh's flesh once the flow had stopped. While the dead thing chewed the remaining fluid out of Rakesh's remains, it began to regain a sense of identity. Not entirely. I, which I then realized could be called I, existed as a dichotomous split between autonomy and impulse. The first physical sensation to return to normal was my appetite. My desperate thirst transitioned into impossibly powerful nausea. Again, I ejected the contents of my stomach onto the floor. I was impelled to kneel over that which I'd released, as if to swallow it again, but I had regained a tenuous bit of control over my motor functions by that point. I tried to stand. My right knee slipped out of place and I crashed to the floor. Another sensation, pain, returned and overwhelmed me. Not just my knee, but my shoulder and fingers and teeth. Apparently, as I was destroying Rakesh, he had stabbed me countless times with his pen. Bits and pieces of memory, now in the first person rather than the third, coalesced into a series of horrifying recollections. I'd broken my fingers with the force of my tearing through Jian's ribs. My teeth were loose from attempting to bite through Rakesh's shin bone. The final physical sensation to return was taste. Copper, salt, bile, and other unmentionable flavors coated my palate in a thick, oily residue. I gagged and dragged my broken fingers over the slick surface of my tongue in an attempt to rid myself of the ghastly taste. It was then Priya returned to the office. She'd been texting as she walked in and hadn't noticed the scene until she slipped in a puddle of blood and nearly fell. She looked at the destruction, screamed, and ran. I sat in the corner, knees hugged to my chest, sobbing and retching. Both our company and the investment bank were able to use their respective connections to purge Priya's emergency call from the police logs. The local authorities and the individual responders to the scene were all given enormous amounts of money for their silence. I was neither arrested nor prosecuted. For days, though, I underwent test after invasive test. The results showed an unexpected interaction between the Wellbutrin, which was still in my system after a month of non-use, and one of the compounds in our new drug. Other subjects had been on Wellbutrin while in the test groups, but none had reported ill effects. My incident was chalked up as an anomaly and labeled as a Cotard delusion, a poorly known syndrome where the affected lose their sense of identity and believe they are either dead, immortal, or both. Neither our company nor the Chinese bank were willing to delay the deployment of the drug, and a few months ago, specific employees of the bank were required to take the medication. The bank's next earnings report was beyond even the most optimistic analysis estimations. The drug is now being modified slightly and getting prepared to undergo FDA scrutiny. Other than Priya, the higher-ups in both our company and the bank, and a few other select doctors, no one knows about what happened that night. Rakesh and Jian's families were told they died in a chemical accident, and each family received $50 million. I work in the same capacity every day, in the office next to where I murdered those men. It's since been turned into a file room, but I frequently have to visit it as part of my job. Every time I set foot inside, I can see myself chewing the flesh of my former friends. I feel my stomach fill with their blood and remember the desperate, unquenchable thirst driving me to get more. And even in the comforting safety of my home, I'm still overwhelmed by the taste.
Oof.
Oh snap.
Wow.
Yay! I love his work.
Oh, yay.
Good. It was very good. It was well written.
Yeah, that
And
was
you did a wonderful job at narrating it.
always
Thank you.
awesome.
Per usual.
Par for Eden.
Par for Eden.
Par for Eden. That was okay, Eden. It was okay. You know.
Yeah, I think I could have done better. I agree. It was subpar.
It was a bogey. I'll give it
No,
that.
it wasn't. No, it
A
was
birdie.
Birdie.
Definitely a birdie.
It's a birdie. Nice.
Oh, all the golf terms.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it was fantastic.
I got.
Everything you did.
I got.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Hey, take CPD. What's the weird doll thing on the right? That is SCP-173. If you don't know what SCP-173 is, it's the statue. He's just saying hello to you. Don't blink.
Don't blink.
Oh, is that the one where you have to keep one eye open all the time?
Yeah, because if you blink, he'll move towards you.
Oh,
And if it gets to you, he'll break your neck.
Of all the things to do to break your neck,
AK,
jeez.
it's the one that if you play the SCP video game, which I highly recommend, as a free. You never played it? It's a free game. You can download
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah,
I did a live stream.
I've got footage of it on my SCP
Same.
video, and you can see me die horribly several times.
Oh my
SCP
God, I'm really
SCP-173 is the main antagonist to that story. He always follows you. everywhere.
Oh.
I called him.
I need a new game, so perfect.
I called him George. And
I
was,
never understood.
so when I screamed, I'd be like,
George.
George, how'd you get there, George? Where'd you come from, George?
You had to blink, didn't you?
You would cheat. It would pop up even when you didn't blink. It would just come up on like your peripheral.
Oh, typical George.
And like you would hear
I
the
know,
music
I'm like,
coming.
Wait a minute now. I'm like, wait a minute now. Wait.
So I guess it's my turn, right?
Yes.
So I'm just pulling one off. I'm pulling one off real quick. Barely even read it. I just read like the first few sentences. But I think Margbot will appreciate this one.
Ooh.
So this one's for you, Mark. This one's for you.
Oh snap! Thank you.
So
Ooh.
I feel like I'm a paranormal magnet. Let me explain. In other posts, I've explained some of the creepy paranormal incidents I've had. This account is from the very beginning, when everything first began. I was about 4 years old when my mom and stepfather moved into a townhome in Cooper City, Florida. That was when I became friends with Marge. Now, I know it's normal for many kids to have an imaginary friend. I'm not sure how many children would come up with their own language to speak with that imaginary friend. But that's neither here nor there. The older I get, the more convinced I become that Marge was not just a figment of my imagination. As a child, I really hated taking naps. My mom would lay me down and close the blinds. You know when you see the light break through the room, through the crack in the blinds? I would watch the dust particles dance around the room when they touched my skin. But when they touched my skin, it burned. I had this reoccurring dream as a kid. In reality, my stepfather was a private investigator, and his own office was inside the house. In my dream, I'm about 4 years old, and I'm walking down the stairs of the townhome we were living in. And I walk down into my stepdad's office, which, in my dreams, was the size of a library. Way across the room, I see my mother. She spins around quickly in his office chair. She moves her hands as if she's beckoning me to come forward and say, "Come here, baby." I walked toward her until I was standing in front of her, at which point her sweet smile turned into a snarl. Her whole face turned a shade of puke green. Her eyes turned black as coal, and her hair went wild and turned white before my eyes. She picks me up and starts shaking me violently. And that's when I wake up. We didn't live there very long, but the events of that house followed me. When I was about 13, we were living in a new townhome, and one night, out of the blue, I had that very same nightmare again. Mind you, this occurs almost 10 years later. The next day, I decided to talk to my mom about the nightmare and how I've had it once before we lived in Cooper City. I was so young still when we moved that my mom didn't think I was ever old enough to remember anything that happened there. She explained to me that she always thought the place was haunted. At first, she would experience things like the faucet in her bathroom sink turning itself on, or lights flickering. My stepdad is a skeptic who tries to rationalize everything, though. One evening, while he was laying in bed, my mom starts explaining to him that she wants to move. She said she's just creeped out and she's just tired of being alone in the house when he's at work. Of course, he says, everything's fine. It's probably just Marge. He said that jokingly, since that wasn't my imaginary friend, and he didn't believe in her either. Just as he said that, 2 coins seemingly fell out of thin air onto my mother's bathroom sink. Needless to say, just a few months later, we moved. Now flash forward decades. I was 24 years old, and I was telling my boyfriend, whom I live with, about Marge in our creepy haunted house in Cooper City. I told him that I thought Marge was probably either a dark evil force or just a deeply troubled spirit. That night, as I was laying down to go to sleep, I closed my eyes and saw her face. She looked exactly like she had in the reoccurring nightmare I had. Only she had aged and decayed. Her green-colored face was now white with deep cracks all through her skin. Her eyes were no longer there. They were hollow black sockets, and her hair was longer and white. And she screamed, "You want to see me, bitch?" Everyone, every word of this is true. It still shakes me to the core. I believe Marge was a very real entity. And that story is by Care Bear, 1991.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I knew the name Marge was going to be in there.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you.
Pretty good.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
good job.
Happy, happy. Joy, joy. Happy, happy. Joy, joy.
Happy joy. Mm-hmm.
That shit was intense.
Oh. Hey, I just reached 323 subscribers.
Congratulations.
Thanks. That's half of 666. That's why I like it.
I sing all the time. Please excuse me.
And Ghibli's back on
Ghibli.
to bring you back from the horror story experience there.
Giblets.
Well, you sing lovely. I would need to excuse myself if I start singing because that's fucking terrifying. Seriously. I love to sing. I can't sing for the life of me. Oh god, it's almost 6 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, go to bed.
Go to bed, yo. We're gonna finish. We're gonna finish up here shortly. It's we're about 3 hours 19 minutes into the stream. Everyone that's still here, that is awesome. Thank you for sticking around the whole stream.
You're all troopers.
I'm pretty sure Danny left.
It's my
Yeah, she had to leave for personal reasons. I can't explain it, but on stream, but she
That's
had to
fine.
leave.
I was just telling her I think she left.
Yeah, she had to leave. I know why, but I can't talk about it. But anyway.
I hope everything's alright.
Yeah. So but yeah, if you want to go into Q&As now, if people in the channel want to have any questions for anyone in the chat, feel free to ask, and we'll do Q&As, and then we'll wrap it up here at the end. So we'll do about 20 minutes of Q&A here, and then we'll call it good.
Alright, sounds
Yeah,
good.
fuck it. I can sleep whenever, but I can do this whenever, so... Fuck sleep. Honestly, fuck sleep.
Alright.
Alright, so questions away, people in the chat, go!
Hey, questions.
Ask us questions. Please.
Please.
I just did a Q&A for my 300 subs, so I don't know if people still has something to ask me, but ask anyone. Ooh!
Alright.
Detective Creeps asks, who's your favorite male narrator?
Who's your favorite male narrator? Blackeyed Blonde. We know who your favorite male narrator is. Gothic Librarian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no shit, right?
I think I'm gonna have to say that B-Bust is my favorite.
Nice. Cool.
I find
cool.
myself scrolling through and just kind of, he uploaded, it's always like, oh, gotta listen to that. Him and Let's Read. Let's Read has really nice calming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good. He's a good guy. I'm friends with him too.
Oh, lucky you.
Sir Spooks
well-
is pretty good.
Who?
Sir Spooks a lot. I actually
Oh,
like
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
My favorite has to be a channel that I feel like most people don't know. It's called Nature's Temper. He's a British guy. He is amazing.
Oh man, check him out.
Yeah, look him up. He's really good at what he does.
Nice.
I
What about
totally
you, Lady
will.
White Rabbit?
I like British guys.
What about you, Lady White Rabbit?
I'm probably gonna stay loyal to Mr. CreepyPasta.
Nice.
That's the reason I got into all this.
Yeah, that's true. He was one of the first ones that I listened to, him and Creeps. But as far as who I listen to really nowadays, most people are gonna be like, you listen to Corpse Husband. I actually don't listen to him that much because he doesn't upload enough. So he really doesn't. But I try to listen to him when I can. But mostly who I listen to nowadays is I actually listen to Blue Spooky a lot. Blue Spooky and I want to say Dr. Creepin. That's another one I listen to a lot more.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those definitely are the two. that I
Oh,
listen to
yes.
the most.
Creepin seems like a good guy, and I've heard he helps
He's
a lot of
good.
small channels too.
He does. He's like me. We like to go out and find smaller
Yeah.
channels and help them out.
Yeah, because his channel blew up like crazy. He told me like a year ago he had like 100 subs and now he's at 16k. So he's still very down to earth and always collabs with smaller channels. And he actually sent me a story for my Mega Collab Part 1 and I was so flattered by that. And yeah, he's fucking amazing.
Yes.
And of course, as my favorite male narrator goes, I think I don't even have to say, like Eden said. I think
Yeah.
it's no mystery. It's no mystery.
What is the scariest thing that's ever happened to you? This goes out to anyone at the table.
The story that I did for New Year's is true and happened to me, and it's the worst thing ever.
I think I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I was home alone with me and my sisters, my 2 older sisters, and we had someone call us that saw everything we were doing in our house.
Ooh.
And he would keep calling us and be like we were in my mom's bedroom, and my one sister hit my other sister, like slapped her on the arm or something, and he called us and said, "Don't slap your sister on the arm." I mean, this is before the days of the internet.
Oh my god!
What a freak!
And like, so we were afraid to get out of our house, and we're like, so we actually called the police eventually, and a police car showed up, and at that point, so that was probably one of the creepiest things that happened to me. I kind of went to our bathroom with no windows and kind of hung out in there.
Oh, yeah.
I play with fire. Because I liked fire as a kid.
Yeah, my story that I was just talking about is short and simple. I camped on Satanist grounds by accident and didn't end.
Oh my goodness.
You camped on Satanist grounds? Nice.
Well, no, my friend was like, let's go camping. And we were like, yeah, let's do it. And he's like, let's go in these woods. And I forgot that the town was notorious for Satanism. So, yeah, it was great. Lots of residual awful shit.
Yeah, I know that.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah. Ooh.
It was definitely the only probably paranormal thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
I've done I'm a paranormal investigator by hobby, so I've experienced a lot, but that's another conversation for another live stream. And many people have already heard it.
Yeah.
I had I actually did a video on it, and it was just not really scary. It was very weird, and there's actually like live footage of it in the video I did. It's called "I Heard a Live Kidnapping on the Radio." If you go over to my channel, you can probably hear the story way better than I'm gonna tell it now. I was in my car, and the radio, like, you know, sometimes if you're listening to car radio, it kind of staticky and cuts out sometimes. So that happened, and all of a sudden I hear this girl like on the voice on the radio, and she's like, "No, I don't want to, like screaming, no, I don't want to." And I was like, what the heck is this? And like, I thought it was like, oh, this is just a whatever, I'm cutting into another station, I don't know. But it didn't stop for like a few minutes, and of course I was like, let me Snapchat it, which was horrible because I missed all of the important parts where she was like screaming, and it was actually terrifying. But I got some of it on video. Yeah, I got some of it on video, and me and my friends sat and we kind of worked out what they were saying. So you can read what they're saying.
If you ever,
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I remember when you posted that. You sent my fiance into a rage, and he called that place.
Yeah,
literally
and they
flipped a nut on them.
Never heard anything back.
That's when I was visiting my dad's house on the weekends, because my parents divorced when I was young. The house he lives in now, their audio system that they had would pick up CB radios, like radio truckers, and I would sleep in the living room on the couch when I visited. And in the night, you know, like the lights are off and everything, and like 2 a.m, all of a sudden you just hear someone talking through the speakers. You're like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, the next morning, it like freaked me out. I went up and like, Dad, someone's talking through the speakers in the audio system. They're like, yeah, the CB radios get intercepted for some reason. We don't know why. And
we tried to figure it out, but apparently, like, it wasn't a CB radio. I don't know. I never heard anything back. We don't know what happened. But other people
Well,
heard
I
it.
know the
wasn't the only
receptionist
one.
was freaking out when we called, and they were like, "Oh, we'll figure it out," but they never called us back either.
I wasn't the only one that heard it. There was other people in my town that also were listening to the station and heard it, so it wasn't just like a freak thing that happened in my car.
Yeah, didn't people like post on the Facebook page and stuff too?
Yeah, people were like, "Oh no, I heard that," and my one other friend heard it, and the engineer or someone from the radio station wound up contacting me and my friend that heard it, and said that he'd look into it, but we never heard anything.
look up what ghost boxes are.
Oh God.
Ghost boxes?
Mm-hmm.
I can't be around
What's
those
that?
things.
A ghost box is basically, it's a radio receiver that it doesn't stop at a channel. It just keeps flipping through the channels. And
Oh, I know what that is.
And so as it flips through, you'll hear these voices that respond to you if you ask questions that aren't related to any channel.
No,
And
I've
so-
done. I had a bad experience with the ghost box. I was near a ghost box and it went crazy, and I had
Call
the
your name?
biggest fucking.
That's
No, like it said, like it didn't call my name. It like call like it. Well, it didn't call Eden. If you want to ask
Yeah,
that, like,
yeah,
that's not my
yeah,
name.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
know, it like it called my actual name,
did,
and
huh?
then and like I started having this really fucking
nightmares.
bad. No, I had a fucking migraine out of this world. Like fucking, it felt like somebody took a like a fucking tire pump and like put it inside my temple and was just increasing the air pressure in front of my eyeball.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop. And I was just like, I've got to turn and it was happening in a live stream. If those of you who know Ghoulish Gal, if you know Ghoulish Gal, she did a ghost box session once, and I was
Really?
in that stream, and it happened, and I like went bananas. I said, I gotta go. I can't listen to this. This is causing like.
Wait,
like,
you
white
were there?
flashes were happening.
Were you there in person? Like, was it?
No, I was it was over live stream.
Over the internet.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
yeah, I couldn't handle it. I had to go.
Something. That's pretty. But yeah, ghost boxes, like you don't. They sound very skeptical until you try one in person, and then when you start hearing your name, like because as you listen, you're like, well, it could be just interference from a station coming in just really quick, and you're hearing like just a real quick word of a station, which is possibly. But when you start hearing like your name, your real name being called over and over and over again, it gets a little real, and it could be.
Is this like some Ouija board level like dangerous stuff?
It's not Ouija board. Ouija board I never recommend because Taco, thanks for the subscribe, man. It's because a Ouija, you're letting something in you. You're letting something come in you to control. Basically, it's like a half possession is what you're doing, and you're letting something control your portions of your body to move the thing on the board that I can't remember the name of.
Planchette.
Yeah,
The planchette.
Planchette. That's right. But a ghost box, you're passively listening. But it's real time. The thing with that compared to the thing that makes it a little more dangerous than a like just EVPs where you're recording is it's all real time, so you can actually go into a full-fledged conversation with something that you don't know what you're talking to though. That's
so creepy.
And when you like an EVP, you're truly passively listening. Like whatever you capture, you don't hear in that time. You listen to when you go home. You re-listen to recording. So you can't really have a conversation that way. But a ghost box is all real time, and it can be a very powerful thing for them to be able to communicate with you like that. And it can really they can when they know they can do that. If you believe in that, when they know they can do that. They can really draw a lot of energy to try to really project themselves onto you and connect to you.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I had to go. Like I had to go. Like nobody knew why I was like wigging out for a little bit. Like, cause I was wigging out in chat. I wasn't wigging out on the stream. And they were like, why does it keep saying that name? Nobody knew that was my name.
Mm-hmm.
And
and you're trying to like
It was saying
her real name.
Yeah, I was saying my real name, and I was like, what the fuck? And no one in the stream knew it was my real name because they know my real name. And so they were like, what's the matter? And I was telling people in chat, I was like, I gotta go. I like made up some shitty ass excuse, but like I was like, hey, I gotta go, I have an emergency. But I was freaking the fuck out, and like my head was about to explode. Like I felt like it wasn't even like a migraine. Like I said, it felt like someone took a fucking air pressure pump and put it in my brain and was just slowly increasing the air pressure like behind my eyeball.
Oh my
god. It was really fucking scary. I've never had a migraine like that in my life, and I was fucking terrified. And
that can happen like that.
Yeah, and I like immediately after I logged off, I went and took a shower, and like I just doused myself in cold water. I just sat in the tub. And it made my headache go like away. Well, not really go away, but it made my headache like the throbbing the cold water did.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that's it's obviously something that was projecting itself onto you. But
yeah.
And it doesn't, like, ghost boxes can be creepy because you don't really have to be in a creepy haunted place for them to work. You can do it in your home.
No.
It's like an Ouija board kind of in that sense where you can do it anywhere and something might happen. And I've never actually worked with a ghost box personally. The ghost group I was with started using them after I left the group. And so they have some EVPs off it, but when you hear a recording of it, it's hard to believe when you hear it. It's something that's really can be really creepy when you're there in person with them, from what I've heard. And so you can make them yourself. All you need is a radio receiver, a little handheld radio that picks up radio stations, and then you can hack it in a way where it doesn't ever stop at a radio station. It just keeps scanning through all the channels, and you'll just hear like you'll hear like this, and as it goes to the stations, and then you'll hear these voices coming through it, talking. Saying words.
I feel
really
like
fast.
if I ever did that, I'd never be able to sleep again.
I'm telling you, it was an experience for me. Like, it was an experience. I've never dealt with that kind of, like, people ask what was the scariest thing that ever happened to me. That was one of the scariest fucking things that ever happened to me because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, what is happening right now? Like, because, most people, you'd think since I wasn't there, it wasn't going to affect me. But it did, and it affected me in a way that none of them had imagined was. I mean, I talked to Ghoulish Gal later, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know what the fuck was going on, but I had to go." And she goes, "Did it start happening when the ghost box started talking?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then at that time, she didn't know my real name. Like, we weren't friends on Facebook or anything yet. So she was like, "Well, does the name blah mean anything to you?" And I was like, yeah, it's my name. And she was like, oh my god, are you serious? I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah. She was like, oh my god. I said, yeah.
They like to call out names, especially names of someone that they are connected to or they want to be connected to.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, I don't know why that entity wanted to be close to you. I said, I don't either, and I don't need them to come back.
It's because you're famous everywhere.
Yeah.
I wasn't even famous then.
They like your voice, Eden.
I guess. I don't fucking know. It was scary.
They want to listen to you record more.
Maybe it was a good entity.
I don't know.
I don't think she would have gotten a migraine like that if it had been good, honestly.
I had a horrible dream.
Yeah,
I had a horrible
you're
dream
right.
last night,
You're
and
right.
I still get horrible dreams every now and then. And I had a good one last night, where I dreamt I heard my door open, my bedroom door open, and I woke up like with my heart racing. And then when I woke up, all these cracks and creaks started happening around my room, and it fucking and so when I did, there's someone in your backyard. There's someone. I think there's someone saying my backyard episode part 1. The way I did that video with me standing in the back is I actually went through my bedroom window to get to the backyard without it looking like I fucking went through my back door again. And so I left that window on. I've left that window unlocked. I forgot to lock it back up. And so I'm laying in my bed last night, and all of a sudden I hear my window into my backyard creaking, and I heard these creaks coming through, and I'm like, oh hell no. So I fucking got up right away, and I went straight to the window and looked out it, and there's no one there, and I locked the window right away. And my house makes a lot of noises at night. The toilets, I have 2 toilets, and they both like to run by themselves throughout the night. Like they fill themselves up for about,
does that all the time.
yeah, for like 10 seconds, and they turn off.
Yeah.
And so all these creaks and cracks were happening along the wall near the window, like all on that side. And I figured, my logical brain was just like, well, the air conditioning's on, and it's just the temperature difference of the walls and stuff is causing the crack, which probably is what it was. But just laying there the whole night, like for the first hour, was just, I probably didn't fall asleep until like 4:30 in the morning, because all I hear is these creaks. And every time, I don't know if you guys ever have this when you're laying in bed and you got your eyes closed and you hear a creak, and with your eyes closed, you see the flash, like the sound. I don't know, has it ever happened to you? It's almost like Daredevil, like the blind guy, where he sees the light, he can see because of the sounds that make.
Mm-hmm.
That happens to me. Like if my eyes are closed and I hear a sound, it will flash in my eyes. It's so weird. And so if I hear it's an unexpected thing. Like if I'm not expecting it and I hear this crack, it'll actually cause a flash in my eyes when my eyes are closed. And it'll make me like, it'll startle me and while I'm laying in bed. So yeah, that all happened last night. Eventually I fell asleep, and but I deal with that about once a month, where I get these really creepy dreams and stuff. That's part of, I kind of chalk it up to doing paranormal investigations for 3 years and the remnants of that.
So I have a question in regards to that. I mean, I've never watched any of your paranormal investigations, but are you the type of person who gets blessed before and after they do like some sort of paranormal research?
You kind of go in. Give me a second here, actually, and I'm going to. I got a lag spike going on here. I'm gonna change channels.
Okay.
That way, everyone can hear, and there's not an issue. I'm pinging 391 right now.
Ooh. Where are you, in Australia?
It's interference with something. I don't know. I think it's.
I know. I always make that joke with my friends, because I have actually friends who live in New Zealand and Australia. Every time we try to game, their ping is like in the 300s.
No, I don't know what. I think it's interference with the surrounding routers in the neighborhood that they and they create a destructive band when they catch the same channels in networking lingo. Anyway, okay, that should be fine now. Yeah, I have, like, I investigated Sloss Furnace in Alabama, and there we had a psychic, and that kind of place, like, if you're there as a woman, like, you don't go there as just a group of women, or you don't go there as a woman alone. You're never allowed to go investigate an area by yourself as a woman, because it's the place there is very haunted by a male-dominated ghost, basically, and women have been assaulted there. God dang.
Whoa.
And so they've been touched, they've been slapped, in the face there, and so we don't, so you're always escorted with a couple guys throughout wherever you go. And
A lie. Let a ghost hit me. I'll hit back, damn it.
Yeah, what are you gonna hit? Fucking air?
Don't question my method.
Don't question my authority.
Don't question my methods.
But so I went out there, the psychic that was with me, and I take psychics with a grain of salt. Not all of them. Why I am pinging bad no matter what channel I change to. That's strange. But no matter, I take psychic. I've seen a lot of psychics fake it. A lot of psychics that are trying to make it like in the ghost group, they come to our ghost group, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm a psychic," and they're like, "Okay." One experience we had was a wife. It was a family, and they decided to come with us on an investigation. The restaurant, we were investing in a restaurant, and the restaurant owner brought in this psychic family that had a cyclic wife. And so it was the father, wife, and their son. And there was a young son. He was like 7 years old. And what he would do is, it was all a scam by them. And what they would do is, the son would say he would feel something there, and all of a sudden the wife would come in, ironically, later and feel the same thing. But we eventually caught them where the son was telling the wife, who is the psychic, what he felt there, and so they can corroborate their stories together. And so we're like, yeah. Not that I don't.
So the son was actually a psychic.
Neither of them were. His son would just make something up. And then the owners and families and stuff, they're really open to anything you tell them. And so you got to be real careful with that, because you can really screw someone up mentally by just giving them anything. So they'll fall for anything if you want it. But yeah, so it was just some made up stuff that had no history related to the place, like nothing of that nature. He was like, because the son came and he's like, I feel like there's someone here. There's a dead body here, like a blood stain here. And then the wife would be like, there's definitely a blood stain there. I could feel that too and stuff. But they were like, yeah, no one's ever died there or anything in history. So, and that's like, I believe in psychics, but you really got to prove it to me.
A lot of them are
Catch you in
pretty
that
much
lie.
BS.
Yeah, catch you in that
There
lie.
are some legit ones though.
There are legit ones, and but I need to test them. And the way I would test them, especially if I was going to make a ghost group and have them be a part of it, is I would take them to 3 different locations, and they wouldn't know the history of any of the locations. It would be very small time places, and maybe 2 of them would be haunted, and 1 of them would be not haunted at all. And I would see how they go in. They can't have any knowledge of the places, and I'd want to see what they say. And if they say all 3 of them are haunted, then I know they're bullshit. But if they say this place is haunted and they feel stuff that's generally accurate to what that haunting's related to, then I'll be open to what they have to say.
You can learn how to be a psychic. There's like certain things that and certain questions that you ask that you can kind of get information from people if you're just really good at just kind of knowing how people react. So you can like kind of teach yourself to be psychic,
You
Yeah,
can.
did any of you see that movie?
Yeah.
What's it called? It's Ouija. I don't know. It could just be
Oh,
called
Ouija?
but it's about like that.
Beelzebub?
Yeah,
Or it's-
that mom who's a fake fortune teller in the house, and she's got all the rigs and stuff, and the kids help her out.
Oh
you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
Was
like,
it
I was
dark?
like,
Was
oh.
it dark beginning or whatever? Like Ouija.
It's like
something.
Ouija Beginnings or something. I can't remember
Yeah.
it right now. Yeah, but it turns legit. But the mom's like a whole fake, and I'm like, man, she does that really well though.
Yeah.
I actually took a class in college. It was a paranormal class, but it wasn't actually just about ghosts. It was about psychics, Reiki treatments, all that kind of stuff, like anything considered abnormal. And one of our assignments was to actually go to a psychic and write an essay analyzing if you thought they were a real psychic or not. And like in our textbooks and whatever, it had like a whole section on things to look for if your psychic is not being a true psychic, is kind of faking it. So you had to go get a psychic reading done and completely analyze it, like while you're sitting getting read. And I'm like, oh man, if they're psychic, they're gonna know exactly what I'm doing.
They're gonna know I'm faking them out.
Yeah, it was
I'd
really
mess with
interesting.
people at that point though.
Yeah, my psychic was a little like vague in the beginning, like saying very general things that could be really true for any person sitting there. But then at the end of our reading, she asked, she's like, do you have any questions for anybody, or do you want to contact anyone? And I just went, oh, my grandpa. And I have 2 grandpas that passed, so I had one in mind, and I just said, oh, my grandpa. And everything that she said, like, was accurate. I asked my mom, because there was some stuff that, like, I really didn't know. I asked my mom after, and she was like, oh my god. So it was kind of weird. Like, I wrote it, and I was like, I don't really know. I can't tell. She's good at contacting dead people, I guess. It was freaky.
Yeah, I mean that's we can get a whole new live stream with that, and I do plan on doing that. I can do a whole new live stream in regards to just ghost hauntings and stuff like that, and we could talk all night about that. We could talk for another 4 hours because we're about almost 4 hours into this stream now. And,
oh my god.
Oh my god! You know,
Wow.
3 hours and 49 minutes. It's going
So much
strong.
love to all of you who have stuck through this entire like 4-hour thing.
I know.
Has anybody watched this whole stream? I mean, really?
Yeah, seriously, I wouldn't know if someone did.
If you were here from the start, if you were in the viewers and you were here from the start, and you are here now, I will give you $1 million. Hashtag not a scam. $1 million mailed directly to your address.
Okay, Leafy.
Guarantee. Yeah, not just.
Anyway, here
That was one out of all the troll things Leafy does. That was one thing that sticks with me though. I kind of like that though. That's one thing I do like. So
here it's 6 a.m. It's
morning.
almost dawn. Yeah, I mean the sky is turning light blue. It's almost daylight outside, and
you
I
guys are
haven't
killing
yet
her.
gone to sleep.
Do you have work tomorrow or today?
No, I don't work. Luckily.
Thank goodness.
Luckily, I don't work. Yeah, thank goodness. Luckily, I don't work, but still, I'm gonna be so fucked up.
We're supposed to get hit with a really big snowstorm in a couple hours, so.
Oh my god, it's gonna start in like an hour, isn't it? No, 3 hours, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be 2 feet.
It was so
excited.
worth talking to all of you for hours and hours. It's so much better than sleeping, and I fucking love sleeping. Talking to you, it was so much better. So I'm truly
glad.
You're
I'm glad
cute,
you got
I
to
love
stick
you.
around.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to join.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I already gave up on it, saying I probably won't be able to.
I had a
but-
feeling you'd cave.
well, I think it's late for everyone here. So I mean it's 11.
after midnight for me.
11 it's 11:10
That's
here,
what it
10
is.
for
I wish it
Marg.
was 11:10.
Yep, and 1 in the morning on the East Coast. So we started at 9.
Yeah, well, not 6 a.m. for anyone.
Nope,
Yeah.
not for Eden
We can't
or
compete with her, okay?
Gothic. Yeah,
We stole her away from her corpse husband dreams. Feel accomplished.
we'll give you a chance to meet
sorry.
Corpse Husband one day.
Sorry, not sorry.
Just to we gotta really hype it up to Corpse to be like we need you to
Oh, okay.
You need to face
Eden's
reveal
really gotta
only
sell
to
it.
Gothic Librarian.
I gotta sell it? Okay.
Yeah, Eden's really gotta sell it to be like Eden's gotta be like Corpse, you gotta do this. It's gonna be funny. just for the shits and giggles, let's do it.
Do this for your face reveal.
Yeah.
Live
Face reveal by showing up at her door.
Yeah.
I've already done a face reveal. Ironically enough, one of them was me wearing this.
The shirt,
Corpse
yeah, I
sticker.
remember. That's why I remember your face. Because I remember you
Okay.
in the shirt.
Yeah.
So
Oh, thank you, Taco Cat. Well, I was gonna say cot.
yeah,
Taco
Taco Cupcat.
Taco Cop?
You drinking too,
Sleep
Mark?
on that. Sleep on that, kitty.
Gosh.
So yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
No. We'll
just
no. I
saying,
think we're gonna end it here. Sorry if we couldn't answer your questions. We kind of got caught up in the in the ghost
deep
stuff
thoughts.
and the scary
Fell
stuff.
down
What
rabbit
scared us so, and went on a tangent with that. And but that's good. And that's what makes these streams enjoyable is when we get caught on tangents, and it's what keeps them going. And
Absolutely.
and I think it's a good time to end it here, as I think it's late for everyone. And if you stuck around through the whole thing, yeah, I know, right? I know.
You're awesome. Holy shit.
Guys, it was awesome. And don't forget to subscribe to everyone's channel that came in here. The links to their channel is down below in the description. Check them out. Check out their stuff. And yeah, like last time, creeps. I'm not as drunk this time. I kept my I'd been drinking water. I didn't drink half the bottle.
I won't forget, Taco.
Only a quarter of the bottle this time.
I will do a face reveal, I promise.
I've been drinking beer all night long, but I'm not remotely drunk.
Yes.
I mean, I'm Swiss, so beer is my blood. I mean.
All right.
Thank you so much for having us here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Really nice
much.
hanging out with you guys.
It was great actually talking to all of you in person, like all.
Yes.
I know, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I said,
Yes.
guys, everyone.
Yeah, I've never done this before, so this was really awesome.
Awesome. I'm glad to have brought you in. I'm glad everyone could come together. Blackeyed Blonde, thank you for inviting everyone in after I sent you an invite. Special props to you.
Thanks, Blonde.
Eden, thank you for coming. Lady White Rabbit, thank you for coming. Margbot,
Thank you.
always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Sooth Siren, thank you so much. Gothic Librarian, you are awesome. And DuchessDark as well. Creep Street as well, although she's not here anymore, but Creep Street as well. Thank you so much. And if you ever hear this again, then thank you. Everyone else, thank you in the stream so much for coming. You make this what it is. You make the chat enjoyable to read, and I hope you guys learn some new narrators. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Again, check out everyone's channel, subscribe if you find them worthy. I find them all worthy because they're awesome. But and I try to subscribe to everyone that's here and in every podcast. My goal is to make everyone well known and to bring us all up together. So again, I will see you in the next one and see you in the future videos. See you next Thursday's video. I look forward to showing it to y'all.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Have a good night, everyone. And
Good night.
Night.
until the next one, see you.